Chapter 9:15. Inside Purple Cap Mountain. Purple Cap Mountain Sky Palace was slightly different from other places. This was a real mountain. The mountaintop had been flattened and a group of palaces was built. An incomparably huge mountain peak. The mountain peak stretched for countless miles. One could imagine how much effort and material resources were spent to build such a sky palace. At this moment, on the long imperial road in the sky palace, Fong Ping was walking toward the mountain peak along the imperial road. Beside him, a silhouette was faintly discernible. Fong Ping, why did you tell the outside world that you're here? Please forgive me, Senior. I can't bear to see my companions get implicated. I had no choice. Please forgive me, Senior. The old silhouette suddenly became real. The white-haired Gong Yuzi had a complicated look in his eyes. You really look like Q-Sword. He had actually guessed it earlier. Back then, in order not to implicate Purple Cap Mountain, Q-Sword asked me to expel him from the sect. I personally chased away Purple Cap Mountain's first seat, the only disciple. Gong Yuzi was starting to believe it now. Fong Ping might really be Q-Sword. That year, unquestionable Jin knelt on the ground in Conscience Questioning Hall. He only asked for one thing, to expel him from the sect. He wanted to take revenge. Once he left, the whole world would be his enemy. Hatred had already made him crazy. However, at that moment, unquestionable Jin was still thinking about the sect, thinking about those seniors and juniors, thinking about him as his master. He wanted to take revenge, but he could not do it as Purple Cap Mountain's first seat, as the future sect leader. He was an abandoned disciple of Purple Cap Mountain. In that era, an abandoned disciple. This was despised and spurned by everyone. A powerhouse like unquestionable Jin, a prodigy, in the end, became an abandoned disciple that everyone spurned. Therefore, Purple Cap Mountain had one less top powerhouse and a lot less trouble. All of this originated from unquestionable Jin himself. Fong Ping's actions today were too similar to unquestionable Jin's. Fong Ping did not care about this. He smiled and said, Senior, I've implicated you. But don't worry, as long as I'm not here, or if you hand me over, those people won't go against you for such a small matter. A bunch of shameless people would not dare to fight with an emperor-level powerhouse at this time. Fong Ping said it calmly. Gong Yuzi looked at him again and said with great vicissitudes, Aren't you afraid of death? Don't overestimate my magnanimity. In order to avoid fighting with other venerable sovereigns, I might really hand you over. Fong Ping chuckled. If you didn't kill him directly, I wouldn't have blamed you, Senior. As for handing it over, I don't really care about it. Maybe Senior can go overboard and open a hole underground. I'll see if I can enter the Forbidden Sea from underground and leave through the Forbidden Sea. The Forbidden Sea is very dangerous. It will corrode the golden body. My golden body ninth refinement should be able to hold on for a while. As he said this, Gong Yuzi seemed to realize this. He suddenly released his spiritual energy and scanned him. A moment later, Gong Yuzi said with some shock, It's the ninth refinement. No, it's not complete. No, that's not right. How did you manage to reach the ninth refinement? Gong Yuzi was really surprised. Without waiting for Fong Ping to speak, he quickly said, Only powerhouses who have united all Daos can walk out of the ninth level golden body. You are not united all Daos. This old man has already sensed your spiritual consciousness. Gong Yuzi murmured. Could it be that you reincarnated just to walk a new path? The ninth refinement of the golden body, your spiritual consciousness isn't weak either. Could it be that you want to walk two extreme Daos? No, coexisting spiritual consciousness and flesh. That's not extreme Daos anymore. Back then, you had an eighth refinement of the golden body and eighth refinement of the spiritual consciousness. You didn't even reach the limit, but you were the martial artist who could walk the furthest and the most well-rounded under extreme Daos. Could it be that you really want to go against the heavens and change your fate? Fong Ping's eyes moved slightly. Senior, is unquestionable sword at the eighth refinement of the flesh and eighth refinement of the mentality? That's right. I'm still clear about the flesh, but how do you differentiate how many refinements mentality has been forged? Gong Yuzi looked at him for a while, judging the strength of his mentality. He said, "Your spiritual consciousness seems to have been severely damaged. Is it okay?" "It's fine. Can Senior help me clear up some doubts?" Gong Yuzi could see that his mentality was heavily damaged, but Fong Ping could still remain calm. He did not say much and said, "The so-called 8 and 9 refinements refer to the stage before Origin Dao. After stepping into Origin Dao, even if the golden body has really reached the 9th refinement, it's also a qualitative change in the later stage. It will no longer affect the foundation. It's the same for spiritual consciousness. The 9th refinement of the golden body can only be achieved by uniting 10,000 Daos. It's not just any martial artist who unites 10,000 Daos. Some fake unites 10,000 Daos can't enter the 9th refinement state. It's the same for the 9th refinement of spiritual consciousness. This is also something that can only be achieved by martial artists who unites 10,000 Daos. Actually, this old man has also never seen a martial artist who has a 9th refinement of spiritual consciousness. It's said that in the past, there was a venerable emperor in the heaven realm who walked the path of spiritual consciousness and reached the 9th refinement of the extreme path. In the golden body realm, the spiritual consciousness will undergo a qualitative change. It can be separated into clones, spiritual consciousness projection, and spiritual consciousness solidification. This is the 9th refinement of spiritual consciousness. Fong Ping heard that and said quickly, "I see. 10,000 hertz mentality." He understood. Wu Chuan had mentioned this before. It was difficult for normal rank 9 powerhouses, even if they reached Qi Huanyu's level, to achieve 10,000 hertz mentality. This was exclusive to the pinnacle. Clones, that was something that only the pinnacle could have. Previously, Fong Ping had thought that a rank 8 with a clone was very abnormal. Now it seemed like it was true. Although his current mentality was more than 9,000 hertz, which did not seem far from it, Fong Ping could imagine how difficult it would be to produce a qualitative change. Fong Ping was not in a hurry. Right now, his strength was still in the ascending stage. He was not in a hurry to walk the origin path. Theoretically, the limit of a 9th refinement golden body was at least 200,000 calories vitality. Moreover, he had not made the vitality intensity change to twice as much as before. He could still continue to wait. His strength was not stagnant. Fong Ping did not ask about this anymore. He was more interested in something else. He asked with a smile, "Senior, what's the name of the venerable emperor who walked the path of spiritual consciousness in the heaven realm?" This old man became an emperor late. This old man did not establish Purple Cap Mountain. This old man is Purple Cap Mountain's second-generation sect leader. When the heaven realm was still around, this old man was just a mortal. Gong Yuzi was not an ancient venerable emperor. He only became an emperor-level powerhouse after Purple Cap Mountain was established. Before that, he was just a true god. As for the heaven realm's destruction, that would have to be pushed back thousands of years. As for the name of that venerable emperor, Gong Yuzi thought for a while before saying, "Destroy? I think it's called that." This old man is not too sure about the specifics. Destroy? Fong Ping smiled. Heavenly Emperor Zhan. Don't tell me he's called Heavenly Emperor Exterminating? Most of the ancient powerhouses have single names. Celestial Emperor is an honorific title. Gong Yuzi chuckled. Zhan and Destroy. These people are all extreme powerhouses of the ancient era. Fong Ping understood. So that was it. However, Old Wang's palace was called Combat Heavenly Palace. He thought that Old Wang was called Zhan Tian in his past life. It seemed that he was called Zhan in the notes. Is Destroy Old Yao? Fong Ping was not sure, but the probability was not small. Fong Ping thought for a while and suddenly laughed. It's not necessary in the modern era. The absolute peak is also the true god powerhouses. Only those with double names are powerhouses. Of course, this is Sino Nation's rule. Other places are not affected. Double name? Gong Yuzi thought for a while and said, "People have different habits in different times. People like us don't really care about these. However, it is said that before the heaven realm was destroyed, some people could not walk the emperor path, so they took another path and walked the second path, even the third path. During that period, some people suggested that names should be given according to the number of paths. This was a long time ago. After that, not many people continued this rule. When the heaven realm was still around and the paths were not blocked, everyone walked the same path. Even in the later period, including people like Gong Yuzi, unless one path could not be walked anymore, they would walk the same path to the end. Most of the people who had walked the second and third paths were old-timers. They could not walk anymore. They could not walk anymore. As for the past 1,000 years, many people walked the second and third paths. However, they were forced to do so. Some of these people did not understand at all. They only knew that many paths were very strong, but in reality, they had already gone astray. The two of them talked as they walked, ignoring the powerhouses outside. Very soon, they reached the top of the mountain. An incomparably huge group of palaces came into view. They could not see the end of it at a glance. Gong Yuzi looked ahead at a huge square and said slowly, "This is the Tao hearing platform. Hearing in the morning, one can die in the evening." In the past, the disciples of Purple Cap Mountain would listen to the Tao here in the morning. At that time, it was an unprecedented grand occasion. Countless disciples filled the Tao hearing platform. Gong Yuzi sighed and said softly, "Do you still remember this place?" "I don't." Fong Ping shook his head. Gong Yuzi did not care. Seeing this, Fong Ping asked, "Other than Senior, are there any other living people in Purple Cap Mountain now?" "No." Gong Yuzi sighed. "Back then, only Jiang Tianming and I survived. A few hundred years ago, I sent Jiang Tianming out. Senior, do you know the identity of Heavenly King Subduing?" "Heavenly King Subduing." Gong Yuzi glanced at him and smiled faintly. "I know a little, but I'm not too sure about the specifics. You said before that Sino Nation is respected by 2 names. You're talking about this person, right?" "As I said, this person is very likely to be someone from the end of the heaven realm. At that time, this method would be followed." "I don't know." "Senior, you let Warlord go?" Gong Yuzi smiled. "It's not that I don't know at all. I still know a little. Moreover, this person is extremely powerful. Back then, he came to our door and forced us to use our strength. We had no choice but to. Then why did you erase Warlord's memory?" Gong Yuzi saw that he was not flustered and calm. He was a little surprised, but he quickly understood and said, "There are many reasons for memory erasure. Firstly, they didn't recover back then. These true god martial artists' injuries were more serious than ours. Their spiritual consciousness was more or less damaged. At this time, if they want to recover, it's better to forget the past completely. It can give birth to a pure spiritual consciousness. Secondly, that person forced the sects to send people. With his memory, it's easy to become enemies with him. Tianming has a fiery temper. Once this happens, it's easy to offend that person. It's easy to get into trouble when he goes out. Thirdly, that person once said that if he forgets his current path and walks it again, he might break through the shackles. This makes sense. Tianming hasn't improved in martial arts for a long time. Maybe if he forgets the past and starts again, he can go further. Reality has proven that he has indeed gone further." Gong Yuzi stopped. Fong Ping smiled and asked, "Is there no other reason?" Gong Yuzi sighed softly. "There is, but it's not convenient to say. There's no need to look into it." "That's true." Rumble. As both of them were talking, a rumble came from the outside world. The entire Purple Cap Mountain seemed to be shaking. Gong Yuzi turned his head to take a look. He said lightly, "They're here." At this moment, a loud voice came. "Gong Yuzi, hand over the unquestionable sword. Hand over the unquestionable sword, or else Purple Cap Mountain will cease to exist." "Gong Yuzi, don't make a mistake." Voices came one after another from the outside world. Gong Yuzi waved casually at this moment. The entire boundary wall became crystal clear. In the outside world, the black cracks were densely packed. A few figures were wrapped in the cracks. Other than the blackness, nothing else could be seen. Fong Ping knew that the bounded zone had a defense system. These cracks were terrifying beyond compare. They were much scarier than the space cracks that were usually made. At this moment, inside Purple Cap Mountain, a large amount of energy was being drawn out and began to surge into the defense system. The cracks outside were also increasing. Gong Yuzi took a look. He said lightly, Chong Rong, Hao Ting, are you guys trying to break Purple Cap Mountain? In the outside world, a pitch-black figure shattered the black cracks nearby. He said indifferently, Gong Yuzi, you should know that the unquestionable sword and I are irreconcilable enemies. In the past, you chased him out of the sect. We did not want to implicate Purple Cap Mountain and have already given in. Today, the unquestionable sword has returned. Why do you have to seek your own death? Gong Yuzi laughed lightly. Hao Ting, the unquestionable sword was already killed by you guys 1,000 years ago. Where did the unquestionable sword come from? Humph! The burly middle-aged venerable emperor did not bother to say more. He snorted coldly, making his stance clear. At this moment, a skinny figure flashed and also shattered the cracks nearby. He said coldly, I don't care if he is Fong Ping or the unquestionable sword. Anyone who dares to kill my disciple must die. At this moment, Fong Ping laughed. Old man, who is your disciple? Tell me. I've killed too many people. I rarely ask for their names. I've killed some nameless juniors. I don't care about their origins at all. Tell me, see if I have any impression of him. You're courting death. The skinny, venerable emperor powerhouse blasted his palm out, causing the boundary wall to tremble again. At this moment, a huge wave of mentality counterattacked, forcing the other party to take a few steps back. There were more and more cracks in the air, and the cutting sound was extremely ear-piercing. The skinny old man gave a muffled snort and said in a low voice, The great formation of Sealing Dragon is indeed very powerful. It's a pity that there are only a few of the 108 formation eyes left now. This can't stop me. The great formation of Sealing Dragon. This was the second time Fong Ping had heard of this name. Shun San, who had been captured by the evil sect, had once said that the bounded boundaries were actually used to lock the forbidden areas and destroy the remnants of the Earth Emperor God dynasty in the forbidden areas. Fong Ping roughly knew what the 108 formation eyes were. They were probably the 108 bounded boundaries. Nowadays, there were very, very few bounded boundaries left. Obviously, these large formations might have been integrated in the past, but now they were much weaker. Gong Yuzi identified him and said after a long time, You are the overseas powerhouse who calls himself John Doe? Years ago, I heard that after the Heaven Realm was destroyed, you seized a piece of the Heaven Realm fragment and established yourself in the Bitter Sea. I didn't expect you to still be alive. Of course I'm still alive. The skinny, venerable emperor sneered. At this moment, the other venerable emperors also seemed to recognize him. Outside the Great Formation, in the sky above the Forbidden Sea tributary, Zhang Tao and Heavenly Emperor Dragon stood proudly above the Forbidden Sea, less than 1,000 meters apart. Hearing Gong Yuzi's words, Zhang Tao laughed and said, Venerable Emperor, is this person from beyond heavens? Heavenly Emperor Dragon held Wang Ruobing's hand and said with a faint smile, No, there are 22 beyond heaven, 4 Brahmas and 18 black skies. The 4 Brahmas have existed since ancient times. The 18 black skies have ancient remnants and were established by powerhouses after the Heaven Realm was destroyed. In addition to beyond heaven, there were also some venerable emperors, martial artists who had their own Taoist rites. The Bitter Sea is boundless. In the past, in addition to this barren land and the land of the Earth Emperor God dynasty, there were also many other overseas islands with powerhouses. This person seems to be an overseas powerhouse in the past. As for the matter of seizing the Heaven Realm fragment, I don't know. Zhang Tao nodded slightly and looked at the old man outside the bounded boundaries. This old man was the one who had talked to Heavenly Emperor Dragon about fighting Heavenly Emperor. Zhang Tao said with a faint smile, Is he the venerable emperor of supreme, everlasting heaven? That's right, Heavenly Emperor Chongrong, Heavenly Emperor Dragon said calmly. This person is of the same generation as me, just a little later. However, he was just an ordinary venerable emperor in the past. After the Heaven Realm was destroyed, his progress was not slow. Zhang Tao's interest was piqued, and he said with a smile, In the current 3 realms, are there existences older than venerable emperors? Heavenly Emperor Dragon seemed very old. According to what he meant, the master of supreme, everlasting heaven, who was also one of the four Brahmas, was a little later than him. Among the four Brahmas, Heavenly Emperor Yulong of soaring heaven was about the same age as me. Heavenly Emperor Pingyu of Jia Etian was about the same age as Chang Rong, and we all achieved Tao in the ancient times. Not only did the masters of the four Brahmas come from that era, but they all became emperors in that era. They were the ancient venerable emperors. As for Gong Zhuanzi, Gong Yuzi, Heavenly Emperor Guanming, these people, before the heaven realm was destroyed, some were still ordinary people, and some were not emperors. Heavenly Emperor Guanming was considered an old antique, but he was still a true god at that time. At the end of the heaven realm, Heavenly Emperor Guanming became venerable emperor a little later than them. When he became emperor, the heaven realm was almost completely destroyed. I see. Zhang Tao laughed. Heavenly Emperor Dragon Transformation looked at him and said after a while, "You are the current emperor of the human world? Very powerful." This Zhang has never acknowledged the emperor. Zhang Tao laughed again. "No, you may be more worthy of being called emperor than the emperor of the past." Heavenly Emperor Dragon Transformation's eyes were like the sun and moon, looking at him and saying, "What you walk is the true human path, and the emperor of the heaven realm only became an emperor in charge of the human world. That's why he has the name of emperor. This emperor was not the emperor. The one who walked the human path was Zhang Tao. The ancient emperor only ruled the human world in name. That's why he was called emperor." Heavenly Emperor Dragon Transformation knew this better than anyone else. "Emperor," Zhang Tao laughed lightly, as if a little disdainful. Looking outside the bounded domain again, there were a total of 6 people, all of them emperor-level powerhouses, but a few of them seemed to have not fully recovered their strength. Zhang Tao sighed softly. "Is it necessary? Divine weapons are just external objects. As for whether Fang Ping is the unquestionable sword or not, he doesn't remember the past. Is there a difference whether he is or not? And now he's only a rank 8. Why do these people have to be like this? Venerable Emperor, in my eyes, they don't deserve this title. They're just afraid of death." Heavenly Emperor Dragon Transformation said lightly, "The era of great competition is coming. Everyone wants to strengthen their strength. In the past, Unquestionable Sword killed the emperors with a Sky Destroyer sword. It's not surprising that these people are tempted. Moreover, Heavenly Battle Emperor's Heavenly Battle Palace is also here. Chang Rong also knows of Heavenly Battle Emperor's name. Naturally, he'll fight with all his might. As for Unquestionable Sword 1,000 years ago, he killed them, of course. These people have to get rid of future troubles. Aren't venerable emperors afraid of death?" "Yes." Heavenly Emperor Dragon Transformation said indifferently, "Who isn't afraid of death? The longer you live, the more afraid you are. Do you think you can let it go just because you live long? Coexisting with heaven and earth, immortal, controlling the world, high and mighty, immortal and indestructible." Heavenly Emperor Dragon Transformation said self-deprecatingly, "Who doesn't want this situation to continue until heaven and earth are destroyed and the 3 realms are shattered? Cultivating to this point, how much effort and how much time has been expended, working hard for several thousand years. Could it be just for the sake of exhausting one's lifespan? The powerhouses of your generation, the cultivation time is too short and can't experience some of the hardships involved in the past. Cultivation wasn't as simple as it is now." Heavenly Emperor Dragon Transformation said with some lament, "At that time, martial Tao had just originated. Many things were half understood and half understood. Walking the wrong path, one could only start anew. At that time, wanting to temper the golden body was actually very, very difficult. We walked to this step at most 3,000 to 5,000 years, at least 1,000 years. From the day I started cultivating to Emperor Realm, I spent a full 2,000 years, day and night, not daring to stop. 2,000 years, and only then did I become Venerable Emperor. Tell me, is this seat willing to die at this time?" 2,000 years, Zhang Tao smiled and said, "That's pretty hard. I walked to this step, spending less than 90 years. It also feels pretty torturous." At this moment, Heavenly Emperor Dragon Transformation's expression was incredibly complicated. Was this unintentional? The human world's human emperor would not go so far as to show off to him, right? A powerhouse like him did not need to be like this either, right? But when these words entered his ears, it really had an unpleasant taste. Less than 90 years. Zhang Tao did not seem to be aware of this problem. Looking at those powerhouses bombarding the boundary wall again, he said with a sigh, 6. Fake King, that guy, is also among them. There are also quite a few true king powerhouses lying in ambush in the surroundings. The gray cat even lured one away. Otherwise, coupled with Heavenly Emperor Dragon transformation, the powerhouses gathered today would be frighteningly many. This did not even include Gong Yuzi and himself. Zhang Tao muttered, "It's a little troublesome 1-on-6. I'm afraid it's going to be tough." The moment these words came out, Heavenly Emperor Dragon Transformation's body trembled slightly. Wang Ruobing felt her father's shock and could not help looking at her father, only to see that Heavenly Emperor Dragon Transformation's eyes were terrifyingly deep, looking at Zhang Tao deeply. The human world's human emperor? Was it boasting? 1-on-6? One had to know. These 6, even though some people's injuries had not recovered, Chang Rong, these ancient heavenly emperors, their strengths were all terrifyingly powerful. Even he also did not dare to say that he could win 1-on-2 for sure. What right did this young man in front of him have to say this? Yes, young man. Not even 100 years old. What was he if not a young man? Zhang Tao muttered, then looked at him and said with a smile, "Emperor, want to sell a favor? I think your daughter can still live for a few more years. Once Emperor dies, can she survive in this chaotic world? This Zhang is untalented, but protecting her a little can still be done." Heavenly Emperor Dragon Transformation's expression changed. Wang Ruobing grabbed her father's hand tightly and shook her head. No, she did not want to let her father continue fighting in his old age. P.S. Strive to repay the debt by the 4th chapter. If it's not 12 o'clock, don't need to wait anymore. Chapter 916. Inside Purple Cap Mountain. Fong Ping was no longer standing. Instead, he was sitting on the steps, smiling. "Senior, how long will it take for them to break through the formation?" "Very soon. 10 minutes. Once it's broken through, you won't have anywhere to go." "Senior, how about opening underground? I'll leave through the Forbidden Sea." Last time, the cat left this way. Fong Ping wanted to take a look too. Gong Yuzi looked at him, trying to see if he really wanted to leave or if he was just saying that. Fong Ping's move was more like a goad. He wanted to see if Fong Ping would dare to leave if he really opened an opening. But after watching for a while, Fong Ping was still calm. "You really want to go through the Bitter Sea?" "Really?" Fong Ping chuckled. "It's not that incredible. I heard that the Nameless Guy and Li Wuji are both from the Forbidden Sea. If they dare to leave, why wouldn't I?" Fong Ping got up, dusted his butt, and waved at the people who were attacking the barrier outside. He said loudly, "I'll leave first. Everyone, you can wait for me in the Forbidden Sea. I'll go back through the Forbidden Sea. Everyone, how about we have a swimming competition?" After teasing them, Fong Ping smiled again. "Whether I'm unquestionable Jian or not, you guys can think about it. If I am, I won't deny it. If I'm not, unquestionable Jian will fight with me sooner or later for scheming against me. Not many people who offend me have a good ending." Fong Ping laughed out loud. He soared into the air and headed straight for the foot of the mountain. "Great emperors, I'm leaving. I'll say this again. The sky-punishing sword isn't with me. If it's fake, Fong Ping will never reach the top in this lifetime. If you don't believe me, I can't do anything about it." "Huh?" Fong Ping laughed again. Outside, Life King suddenly shouted coldly, "The sky-punishing sword really isn't with you?" "Life King, what's my personality? When it's in my hands, I don't even care if you old things offend me or not. Will you deny that a divine weapon isn't in my hands? Anyway, I don't have a good relationship with you guys. Whether I have a divine weapon or not, you guys want to kill me. Do I still care about this?" Fong Ping laughed heartily. "Life King, if you have so much free time, you should spend more time on the battleground. What are you doing strolling around blindly all day long? The reason why others proclaim themselves as monarchs is because they have the strength to do so. Don't you know how far you have walked on the path of origin energy? Just because you have some external objects, you wander around all day long. Do you really think you are a venerable sovereign? Once these words were spoken, the entire domain became frighteningly quiet. He was being despised. A powerhouse with the strength of an emperor was being looked down upon. At this moment, even some of the people on the other side of the forbidden sea heard those words. Ji Yao's expression stiffened. The Wang ancestor, who was invincible in her eyes, in Fang Ping's eyes, was not worth mentioning at all. This guy was really arrogant. Several Emperor-class experts were in front of him, all wanting to kill him. If it were any other person, they would have been scared out of their wits. Could a level 9 expert be bold? Back then, when the Ash Cat ate monsters, the rank 9 Phoenix Spirit and the Gopher were so scared that they wet themselves. Ji Yao did not know how to evaluate Fang Ping. Bold? This was not enough to describe him. Charisma? However, his strength had not reached such a level. Was he not afraid of being punished for offending a powerhouse like this? After thinking about it, perhaps Fang Ping was not afraid. A long time ago, he had been a thorn in the side of many true kings. However, he had lived until now, and the more he lived, the more powerful he became. From rank 6 to now, he could even fight Qi Huanyu. His improvement was so fast that it made people despair. If a martial artist like him did not die, his achievements might really be shocking. Was he foolish and bold? Perhaps. However, to say that Fang Ping was not bold would be wronging him. This person's boldness was so great that even ordinary true kings could not compare to him. Ji Yao's gaze became more and more complicated. Recently, she had been learning something. She did not learn from Life King or Ji Hong. She was learning from Li Zhu, Fang Ping, and Zhang Tao. However, after learning, Ji Yao realized that these people had their own unique styles. It was not easy to learn them. They were similar in form, but different in spirit. He couldn't learn the essence of their skills, but only a superficial knowledge. However, these people, without exception, were all people with great courage. Grandpa Huanyu, can he escape this time? Ji Yao looked at Qi Huanyu with an indescribable feeling. Qi Huanyu looked at the bounded domain, at the Sky Palace, at Fang Ping, and said in a low voice, "It's hard to say. There's a martial king, a battle king, and now he even has a relationship with Gong Yuzi. The Water Clan's expert from the Forbidden Sea has left. Now he also knew some things. For example, the elder of the Wu Qi realm had been taken away. Under such circumstances, he might not be able to defeat Fang Ping. Of course, these 6 experts weren't the only ones here. In the dark, King Hua and the others did not appear. They were all waiting. It was not that easy for Fang Ping to escape. Ji Yao stopped asking. Meanwhile, Hua Yu stood next to King Hua and said softly, "Royal ancestor, you've always taught me to keep a low profile, lie low, and endure patiently in order to live longer and grow stronger." His grandson had always viewed this as the truth of life. Many people had died, but his grandson was still alive. But now his grandson was shaken. Fang Ping was arrogant and despotic. Ever since he was a general, his name had spread across Divine Land. There were countless true kings who wanted to kill him, but he grew stronger and stronger. Even until now, he has not died. This time, he even condensed his golden body 9 times and killed Xian Xiao. Hua Yu's gaze was complicated. "I'm shaken." King Hua glanced at his grandson, the most outstanding descendant of his family. Many people had died. Feng Qing, Feng Yesheng, Zi Luo, the martial artists of his grandson's generation, the most outstanding ones, were almost all dead. But he was still alive and had a golden body 4 times. This was King Hua's pride. But now, Hua Yu was completely bewildered. King Hua thought for a while and said slowly, "There are many reasons why he didn't die. First, King Wu is stronger than me. King Wu is his Tao protector. Second, he has many tricks up his sleeves. He looks reckless, but he is meticulous. Do you really think he's like this all the time? Being arrogant doesn't mean you have to be like this all the time. When he needs to lie low, he is more tolerant than you. I know this person a little. Previously, he had infiltrated King Feng's camp. Even someone as domineering as Feng Yesheng could infiltrate without being detected. This is tolerance. It doesn't mean you have to be like the Leaf father and son to be tolerant. The first time he came out of the Land of Kings battlefield, he allowed some true kings to check his body inch by inch and never showed any dissatisfaction. If it were you, would you have welcomed them with a smile that day? With that, King Hua continued. Third, he has no choice. Martial artists from the Land of Rebirth have a hard time cultivating. In the Land of Rebirth, martial artists must fight. Without fighting, there will be no experts. But in Godland, it is different. You are my grandson. Even if you don't fight, you will still become stronger. If that's the case, how can you have such a competitive heart? King Ancestor, is the martial path of Godland wrong? Not so. King Hua said faintly. Each has its own advantages and disadvantages. The Tao of the Land of Rebirth is only strong for a moment. If the enemies are gone, the Land of Rebirth will collapse on its own. How? How can we fight? When that time comes, the Land of Rebirth will be worse than Godland. It will fall into chaos. Hua Yu's eyes flickered. Then why didn't they treat the Land of Rebirth like this all these years? The Land of Rebirth knows this weakness. That's why, under the leadership of King Wu and the others, they attacked the outer realm to create external enemies and pressure. You have to know that when the passage opened not long ago, the pressure on the Land of Rebirth was definitely not as great as it is now. With Heavenly King Garrison guarding Mount Royal Sea, only a small number of martial artists from the outer realm attacked the Land of Rebirth. Since then, King Wu and the others allowed the martial artists from the Land of Rebirth to enter the outer realm, forcing them to fight. That's how the Land of Rebirth came to be today. I see. Hua Yu's eyes flickered. The Land of Rebirth used Godland as a whetstone. However, the Land of Rebirth was weak at that time. To have such courage, King Wu and the others are indeed worthy of admiration. King Hua did not mind his grandson's admiration. He nodded slightly. If not for that, King Wu would not have made it this far. In Godland, I'm afraid only Li Zhu can compare. However, Li Zhu is a person with a dark heart. King Wu is slightly better. Everything is in the light. Even though he knows he's being schemed against, he has no choice but to take the bait. King Hua spoke of Zhang Tao with admiration. Powerhouses were not separated by race. Zhang Tao's strength was not only in terms of ability, but also in many other aspects. Although he was an enemy, he had to admit Zhang Tao's success. The powerhouses in the outside world were discussing. Inside Purple Cap Mountain, Fong Ping looked down on King Ming for a while. Regardless of how crazy King Ming was, he looked at Gong Yuzi and smiled. Senior, please open a gap and let Fong Ping leave. Gong Yuzi's expression was extremely complicated. Fong Ping really wanted to leave. You have to know that there are still true gods hibernating outside this place. If you leave through misery, there might be true gods entering misery to block you. It was not that others could not enter the Forbidden Sea. Usually there was no need, and it was quite dangerous. However, this was only the periphery of the Forbidden Sea. There were so many true gods and many emperors here. The Forbidden Sea could not stop them. Even if Fong Ping dived into the sea, powerhouses could surround and kill him from all directions. Fong Ping smiled. It's not that easy to find a needle in a haystack. If I'm really killed, that's fate. Gong Yuzi wanted to say something, but found it hard to speak. Help Fong Ping? Help him resist the emperors? There were a total of 6 emperor powerhouses outside. Whether Fong Ping was the unquestionable sword or not, it was still uncertain. The disappearance of the Sky Destroyer was the biggest doubt. Fong Ping continued to look at him. Actually, Fong Ping saw Zhang Tao. However, this time, Fong Ping decided to go by himself. He really wanted to try going through the Forbidden Sea. With him here, old Zhang would be under a lot of pressure. Surrounded by so many emperors, this was not an ordinary true king. It would not be easy for old Zhang to take him away. However, once he entered the sea, these emperors might split up to look for him. When that time came, old Zhang could be much more maneuverable. It would not be like now, where Fong Ping was surrounded here. It was equivalent to attacking reinforcements. Old Zhang might be surrounded and killed. Moreover, I'm also a minister. I can't be too embarrassing. Fong Ping muttered in his heart. I'm on the same level as Old Zhang. Can I keep waiting for people to save me? I can save myself. Moreover, it was not like he had no confidence. For example, a certain cat. Was it not in the Forbidden Sea? He would contact it later and see if he could get this cat to lurk over and take him away. As for Gong Yuzi, Fong Ping did not expect him to really be willing to fight to the death for him. That did not exist. This time, he came in mainly to confirm Unquestionable Sword's identity. At this moment, Fong Ping actually had some judgment in his heart. He had gained something. Did Gong Yuzi really not know Unquestionable Sword's identity? Not necessarily. Fong Ping sneered in his heart. This old man might have let him in to cooperate with Unquestionable Sword. Sure enough, the cat was right. This fellow was neither good nor bad. However, he was still biased toward his disciple, not Fong Ping. Fong Ping did not care. This was how people were. If his own disciple was not biased, would he be biased toward an outsider? Very soon, I'll be able to confirm Unquestionable Sword's identity. This fellow is quite good at hiding. The corners of Fong Ping's mouth curled up slightly. He was very brave. Whether it was true or not, he would know when the time came. Heavenly King, subduing. You know him too, right? This thought arose in Fong Ping's mind. Perhaps there were more than one or two people who knew Unquestionable Sword's identity. They were all waiting. Gong Yuzi did not know what Fong Ping was thinking. He continued to hesitate for a while and suddenly sighed. I can't confirm your identity, and I can't die now. Fong Ping, be careful. Thank you for your concern, Senior. Before I leave, Fong Ping would like to ask a question. After the battle at the King battlefield, Unquestionable Sword disappeared for close to 1,000 years. Does Senior know where he went? During the battle at the King battlefield, Unquestionable Sword became a deserter. He did not participate in the battle. Perhaps he did something in the dark, but he did not participate in the final battle. After 1,000 years, Unquestionable Sword only left the mountain and killed his way into the catacombs. Very few people cared about this 1,000-year time difference. This was because many of the great emperors were in closed-door cultivation and hibernating. Unquestionable Sword's disappearance for 1,000 years did not seem to be a big deal. However, in Fong Ping's opinion, Unquestionable Sword might not be in hibernation during this 1,000-year time difference. He should not be that kind of person. I don't know about this. Fong Ping gave him a deep look, chuckled, and did not ask anymore. Don't know? Perhaps. Gong Yuzi did not say anything else. The boundary wall was shaking violently. It was about to be broken. At this moment, Gong Yuzi's energy fluctuated. The ground cracked open slowly. At this moment, the powerhouses who were attacking the boundary wall at the periphery suddenly stopped. The skinny old man, a venerable emperor from the Forbidden Sea, sneered and said, "Do you really want to enter misery? Although misery can shield your aura, this place is only at the edge of misery. We have sealed off all directions. You can't escape." Fong Ping suddenly stuck up his middle finger at him and said disdainfully, "You're that old ghost from Mount Nameless, right? Your disciple is really trash. I killed him with one slash. He's a piece of trash. You and I are of the same rank. I'll kill you with one slash. You dare to be arrogant with me? I just can't be bothered to argue with you. Otherwise, I'll call 8 to 10 venerable emperors and hammer you to death. You old thing." Fong Ping's words were earth-shattering. The other party was so angry that he attacked the boundary wall again. Fong Ping did not care. It would be best if he could shatter it. Unfortunately, if he continued to stay, Gong Yuzi might turn against him. The old man spoke politely, but he did not hesitate to open the underground seal. Perhaps he could not wait for him to leave right now. However, in order to solidify his identity as Unquestionable Sword, this old fellow would not be so straightforward. The human heart is sinister. Fong Ping laughed and jumped down. He laughed loudly and said, "Everyone, we'll meet again if fate wills it. The next time we meet, remember to buy a good coffin." After throwing these words, Fong Ping let out a muffled humph. His person had already disappeared from Purple Cap Mountain. Gong Yuzi was silent for a moment, then slowly sealed the underground seal. The bounded domain floated above the Forbidden Sea. Both sides were tributaries of the Forbidden Sea. Fong Ping could travel to any place by going underground. As for whether he would die in the Forbidden Sea, whether he would be killed by the demon race in the sea, or whether he would be besieged by the various powerhouses, Gong Yuzi couldn't be sure. Looking at the venerable sovereigns outside, Gong Yuzi said calmly, "He has already left. If you still want to attack, I won't be bullied like this even if I don't want to." Heavenly Emperor Chong Rong smiled faintly when he heard that and said, "Gong Yuzi, don't play those little tricks anymore. Your little tricks, it's not like we don't know. Greedy for life and afraid of death like you. Do you really dare to come out and fight? If it were really so, you also wouldn't have chased unquestionable sword out of the sect back then." Heavenly Emperor Chong Rong gave a laugh, but did not attack anymore either. He soared into the air and entered the Forbidden Sea straight away, vanishing inside the Forbidden Sea in a blink of an eye. The other great emperors also did not say a word, leaving one after another, all entering the sea. Although the Forbidden Sea's seawater corroded golden bodies, they were emperor-rank powerhouses after all. They also would not be corroded to death by this thing so easily. Even Fong Ping dared to enter. Why wouldn't they dare? At this moment, powerhouses shot out from all directions, entering the Forbidden Sea directly. The Forbidden Sea that had been peaceful for many years was fluctuating unceasingly today. Above the Forbidden Sea, Zhang Tao did not stop them, allowing these people to enter the sea and also allowing powerhouses from all directions to enter the sea to search for Fong Ping. Heavenly Emperor Dragon Transformation looked at him rather strangely. This person looked like he wanted to intercept the various emperors just now. Why did he not make a move at this time? Or could it be that the present emperor was also just saying it? Just as he was puzzled, Zhang Tao laughed lightly and said, "Separated? Might as well. Fong Ping, this kid, really got my way this time. Dizun, that sickly fellow previously was a Grandmaster powerhouse from Earth, right?" "That's right. That's Great Emperor Great Peace of Emperor Cliff Sky. The entrance to Emperor Great Peace of Emperor Cliff Sky is indeed in the human world now." Zhang Tao laughed and said, "I said previously on Earth, when I came in, I seemed to have sensed his aura. This guy seemed to have entered from a passageway on Earth. He actually didn't even inform me. He's also looking down on me too much. TSK, living in my territory, never mind that he didn't inform me. Now he actually even dared to surround and kill Tian Division's deputy minister. This guts really isn't small." Heavenly Emperor Dragon Transformation looked at him, somewhat surprised. What did he mean? Zhang Tao exhaled lightly and smiled again and said, "Dizun, it's still that sentence. This favor. Are you selling it? What do you want? To kill people?" Zhang Tao chuckled and said, "In this day and age, if you blindly appease people, people will think that you're easy to bully. Last time I didn't find Emperor Great Peace of Emperor Cliff Sky. I thought that it didn't matter if I didn't care. As for now, this seems to be the only emperor-rank powerhouse that has emerged on Earth. Dizun, this Zhang doesn't ask for much. Help me block those other powerhouses. I'll enter the sea to play too." Heavenly Emperor Dragon Transformation's expression changed slightly. Zhang Tao wanted to kill Great Peace? Did he really have the strength to kill an emperor-rank powerhouse? Heavenly Emperor Great Peace's injuries had yet to heal, but battling with an emperor rank, even if he fell into a disadvantageous position, he would not die so easily either. Dizun doesn't need to look at me like that. Beat the young ones, and the old ones came. Fong Ping beat the young ones until they didn't dare to make a sound. Now that these old ones are here, this old one should also show my arms and show my existence." Zhang Tao chuckled and looked at him. Heavenly Emperor Dragon Transformation pondered slightly for a moment and said in a solemn voice, "If this seat perishes, I hope that Martial King can take care of my daughter a little." "Of course. All right then, this seat will help you block the powerhouses. I believe that they won't dare to become enemies with me for Great Peace either." Heavenly Emperor Dragon Transformation also burst with arrogance at this moment. But by the side, Wang Ruobing held his large hand tightly, her tone choking with sobs as she said in a low voice, "Father, I'm not willing, silly child." Heavenly Emperor Dragon Transformation's eyes revealed a hint of doting. Father can't take care of you for a lifetime. After so many years, his daughter's injuries seem to have recovered now. Sealed for many years, his daughter could still continue living. And he probably wouldn't live for long. The human world's sovereigns were very strong. For Fong Ping, he dared to kill Dizun. Then since he promised this seat, he wouldn't go back on his word either. Heavenly Emperor Dragon Transformation did not speak anymore. Stroking his daughter's head, he casually tossed Wang Ruobing's sword into the air. The next moment, she flew over to Wang Hanyue's side. "Bring Ruobing back." "Yes." Wang Hanyue glanced at her unconscious junior sister and did not dare to question, hurriedly bringing Wang Ruobing and flying toward Mount Imperial Sea. Heavenly Emperor Dragon Transformation waited all the way until they completely left before laughing heartily and said, "Since Martial King is interested, then enter Embittered Sea for a trip. This seat also wants to experience just how strong the present human world's sovereigns are." "I won't let Dizun down." Zhang Tao laughed, calm and composed, treading on the air, stepping into the sea with one step. The seawater split open. Zhang Tao directly entered the sea, chasing rapidly along a direction. Seeing the situation, Heavenly Emperor Dragon Transformation did not hesitate either. With his hands behind his back, he laughed heartily again and entered Embittered Sea. Until these people all left in the domain, Gong Yuzi's eyes swiveled. Following that, he sighed lightly, slowly sealing the domain, making the previously clear purple cap mountain disappear in front of everyone's eyes again. This time, would anyone perish? He did not know. He only knew that the dead would increase. As for Fong Ping's face flashed in Gong Yuzi's mind. He muttered in a low voice, so low that it could not be heard, and very quickly dissipated into the air. Chapter 917. It hurt. The Forbidden Sea. This was Fong Ping's first time falling into the seawater. The sizzling sound lingered in his ears. Fong Ping's golden body was being corroded by the seawater. His mentality was also being corroded. What the hell is this seawater? Fong Ping grimaced in pain, no longer as arrogant as before. When he left just now, asking the emperors to prepare a coffin was quite satisfying. But now he really could not feel happy anymore. It was too painful. Even if he had a ninth forged golden body, he could not withstand the seawater's corrosion. It was like being soaked in sulfuric acid, an acid that was countless times stronger. If ordinary martial artists fell into this seawater, if they were not rank 8, they would probably be corroded into nothingness in the blink of an eye. The Forbidden Sea. I'm afraid demons below rank 8 can't go into the sea. At this moment, Fong Ping suddenly understood. There was definitely a demon's base camp in the sea, including some islands and the like. If the demons were not rank 8, they would probably not go into the sea. Even if the demons were more adapted to the Forbidden Sea, without a golden body, other demons would not be able to survive. No wonder the demons I met in the Forbidden Sea were almost all rank 9. Fong Ping had always thought that the Forbidden Sea demons were too powerful. Now he understood it was not that the Forbidden Sea demons were really rank 8 or 9, but if they were not rank 8 or 9, they would also die in the sea. The pain lasted for a while, but Fong Ping quickly discovered an advantage that he could endure longer than others. He could use the imperishable substance to recover. Even a ninth forged golden body would be corroded badly. If ordinary human martial artists entered, a rank 9 would probably not last more than 10 minutes. However, Fong Ping's golden body was ninth forged. According to the current corrosion speed, he could at least last more than half an hour. After all, humans and demons were somewhat different. Demons were more adapted to this, but humans were different. However, Fong Ping had the imperishable substance, consuming it and constantly replenishing it, so he could endure. At this moment, Fong Ping was under the bounded domain. The bounded domain was like a big ship, and now he was at the bottom of the ship. This ship was very, very big, thousands of li long, In the Forbidden Sea, even the aura was concealed. It was very difficult to find a person in such a big place. Fong Ping also did not dare to stay here for long. Previously, when he came down here, those people saw him. There would definitely be powerhouses coming later. If a rank 9 could endure for 10 minutes, then a normal paragon could at least endure for more than 10 times the time. 2 hours would definitely not be a problem. At the Overlord level, he might be able to last a day or two. This did not even include the Forbidden Sea Demon Clan. If the Forbidden Sea Demon Clan entered the sea and adapted to this environment, Fong Ping would be in even more trouble. In the seawater, Fong Ping's vision was obstructed to a certain extent. He could not use his mentality to probe. In fact, his spiritual power was severely damaged, so it was better for him to stay here. Fong Ping could observe everything within a radius of 100 meters. After 100 meters, Fong Ping could not see anything clearly. What exactly is the Taboo Sea's water? It's somewhat similar to Lao Wang's vital energy. They both have corrosive effects. Fong Ping muttered to himself for a while. It did not delay his movements. Even in the sea, his movements were extremely convenient, no different from those on land. At his level, there was no distinction between land, sea, or air. He took a look at his own stats. Wealth, for billion points vitality, 141,000 calories, 141,100 calories, mentality, 1,299 hertz, 9,499 hertz, power of destruction, 70 yuan, storage space, 10,000 cubic meters, plus, energy barrier, 1 point/minute, plus, aura simulation, 10 per minute, plus, origin detailed analysis, 10-100 million points/time. Fong Ping suddenly thought of something. In the next moment, Fong Ping restrained his aura. The Taboo Sea already had the effect of concealing one's aura. If he restrained his aura, would it have a double effect? He was worried that the Taboo Sea demons might have the ability to sense something in the sea. If they could not sense anything at all, how would the Taboo Sea demons assemble? How would they issue orders? How would they summon their companions? Living things were adapting to their environment. The Taboo Sea's environment was like this. The demons here might have evolved to some abilities that normal demons did not possess. Fong Ping restrained his aura and began to dive deeper. The Taboo Sea was very, very deep. He had been on the surface all this while. Now, Fong Ping kept diving. 30 meters, 50 meters, 100 meters. Some demons were so huge that they would not retract their bodies in the sea. If the sea was not deep, these demons might not be able to survive. After diving for nearly 1,000 meters, Fong Ping felt that he had stepped on the ground. There were no demonic beasts or fish nearby. There were fish in the Taboo Sea too. When he was in Hope City, Fong Ping had seen people buying fish from the Taboo Sea to make delicious food. This place was probably affected by the bounded domain. Fish did not survive here. Or maybe there were too many demons this time, so these normal fish had left. After diving for 1,000 meters, Fong Ping could no longer see the bounded domain above his head. He did not know how far an emperor-level powerhouse could see in the sea. If they could not see far, even if they were above his head, they should not be able to find him. Just as Fong Ping dived to the bottom of the sea, at the place where he had just stopped, a figure rushed over in the blink of an eye as if it was walking on flat ground. The skinny emperor-level old man's eyes glowed. He looked around and snorted coldly. His voice could be heard clearly in the sea. At this moment, the Supreme Chong Rong Heaven's ancient venerable emperor, Chong Rong Heavenly Emperor, also strode over as if he was on the shore. He smiled faintly and said, "You didn't find him?" The skinny old man did not speak. After thinking for a while, his figure flickered and disappeared on the spot. After a while, an incomparably huge monster that looked like a whale was dragged over by the old man. That day, when the nameless mountain youth rushed over, he rode on this monster. "Luo Yu, can you find him?" The skinny old man growled. The huge monster was like a whale, but the fins on both sides were extremely huge, like wings. At this moment, the Luo Yu's fins flapped, stirring up tiny waves in the sea. It seemed to be sensing something. After a while, The Luo Yu moved. Different from the land demons, the Luo Yu did not have mentality fluctuations. The seawater eroded mentality, and these sea monsters rarely used mentality. The Luo Yu's abdominal cavity seemed to be vibrating, and it actually spat out a voice that sounded like human language. Replying to Venerable Emperor, I didn't find. Chong Rong, Heavenly Emperor, swept a glance at the Luo Yu. This monster was not at true god level, but it was also a top-notch rank 9. It could actually use ventriloquism in such a way. Chong Rong, Heavenly Emperor, said with a slight smile, as expected of a rare beast of heaven and earth, breaking the rules of heaven and earth. It seems that true God is not far away. The monsters could not speak the human language, at least not before reaching the peak. This was the rule. It was not that the monsters could not simulate the human voice. As a powerhouse, the vibration of the air and the conversion of sound waves could be done easily. But they were just unable to speak the human language. This was a kind of rule. But when walking out of Great Tao and crossing that hurdle, the demons could speak the human language. The Luo Yu's abdominal cavity vibrated once more and said, Venerable Emperor is too kind. Chong Rong, Heavenly Emperor, smiled and did not follow up either. Following that, his expression fell slightly as he said, The Luo Yu is a native demon race of the Misery Sea. It's also unable to discover this person? The skinny old man's eyes were also cold and fierce as he said, Since he dares to enter the sea, he naturally has some means. This old man also didn't expect that this person can actually completely disappear in the sea. Chong Rong, Heavenly Emperor, thought about it and said, Go, investigate inch by inch along Purple Cap Mountain. This emperor doesn't believe that he can fly out. There are still fellow Taoists sealing off this place at the periphery. He can't escape. Done talking, he continued. Let the Misery Sea's demons enter this place and investigate inch by inch. Fellow Taoist nameless, this matter will still need to trouble you to take action. Wushang Chong Rong Heaven was not in the Misery Sea. There were also no demon forces under his command, let alone the Forbidden Sea's demon race. The overseas nameless mountain had taken root in the Forbidden Sea for many years and more or less subdued some demons. Okay, it's a pity that the water buffalo left this place. The skinny old man was somewhat regretful. The water buffalo of the water buffalo was also an emperor-level powerhouse among the demon race. If it was here, its senses would be even wider than the Luo Yu. It was a pity that the other party was lured away by no idea what. Otherwise, as long as Fong Ping was within this circumference of 100 miles, he could not hide from the water buffalo's investigation. Hearing this, Chong Rong, Heavenly Emperor, thought about it before saying, It might be done by the Ash Cat. Ash Cat? The skinny old man's expression changed slightly, and he said, That cat came into being? Should be. Chong Rong, Heavenly Emperor, said coolly, Previously, that cat was slumbering in the Kuokang Mountain. But it seemed to have come into being previously. I heard some old friends say that previously, that cat had terrorized several grandmasters. The Ash Cat came into being. It came together with Fong Ping? The skinny old man murmured and continued. The Ash Cat and unquestionable sword have a close relationship. It actually came here and even lured away the water buffalo. Fong Ping is probably really unquestionable sword's reincarnation. Previously, he was still not too sure. But now, the skinny old man was really somewhat certain. The Ash Cat was actually here? Hard to say. Chong Rong, Heavenly Emperor, was not so sure and said coolly, The Ash Cat only loves the darling of fate. It has nothing to do with anyone. But if it came here together with Fong Ping, that means that Fong Ping is also this era's darling of fate. This person should be killed. Done talking, Chong Rong, Heavenly Emperor, did not stay any longer, vanishing on the spot in a blink of an eye. The skinny old man mused for a moment, suddenly emitting an incomparably sharp voice from his mouth. Such a sharp voice, ordinary martial artists could not hear it. But at a place far away from this place, a group of demons heard it. Very soon, a group of demon beasts several hundred miles away rushed over here swiftly. Luoyu, You lead those demons and search for Fong Ping. When you find it, inform this emperor. Understood. Luoyu immediately followed up, fins flapping, speed extremely fast, vanishing on the spot very soon. And at the same time, Zhang Tao walked all the way, passing by a place, seawater avoided, not staining his body. When the dragon-transforming Heavenly Emperor on his left saw this scene, he could not help revealing a strange look. The sea of bitterness was boundless. The seawater was boundless. Even Emperor-level powerhouses found it very difficult to expel the boundless seawater too, and could only endure the seawater's corrosion. This generation's human emperor had such capability. Was it forcefully holding on? If not, then the time this person could stay in the forbidden sea would exceed imagination. One had to know, even the demons would return to the island after a period of time too, and would not keep staying in the sea. Zhang Tao did not seem to see this scene, saying with a smile as he walked, "The forbidden sea. I think it's the Dead Sea, the dead people sea. There are too many things mixed in. Just how many people died back then?" You saw through it? Heavenly Emperor Dragon Transformation was astonished once more. Zhang Tao smiled faintly and said, "Came a few times and investigated it once. I have a general judgment. The energy is heterogeneous, lifeless. This is the effect of the forbidden sea's seawater corrosion. There are powerhouses blood flowing in, there are powerhouses corpses sinking in, and there are also some messy things covering countless regions. I'm afraid that it's not just one or two people who died." Heavenly Emperor Dragon Transformation said in a solemn voice, "That's right. The Sea of Bitterness originally also had some corrosive effects, but it's not as serious as now. At that time, ordinary martial artists could cross the sea too. Becoming this current appearance is still something that happened after the Heavenly Realm crashed. If not unexpected, it must be the Heavenly Realm's powerhouses dying. There must be power seeping into this place, like the Emperor's tomb, causing such a change in the Forbidden Sea. Too big." Zhang Tao still lamented. "If it was really caused by humans, then the powerhouses who died, I'm afraid there was no lack of emperors. The Forbidden Sea was too big. This was not something that could be done by an individual person." Fong Ping felt that it was related to Old Wang, but Zhang Tao felt that it was related to the entire Heavenly Realm. The Heavenly Realm fell. Countless powerhouses died. Where did the Heavenly Realm fall to? The land where the heavens fell was in the Forbidden Sea. A large number of powerhouses died in the Heavenly Realm, and the Heavenly Realm fell into the Forbidden Sea. As a result, there was the current Forbidden Sea. Should be. How many emperors were there back then? Zhang Tao asked a question. Heavenly Emperor Dragon Transformation said with a smile, 9 emperors ruled the 3 realms together. 9? That's right. Just how strong are emperors? Don't know. Heavenly Emperor Dragon Transformation said with emotion. When emperors make a move, practically all those who have seen them die. But although I don't know how strong emperors are, this seat also understands how strong some powerhouses comparable to emperors are. In the past, I've seen Celestial Emperor Batian in action. When this person attacked, he once broke the 9 heavens with his fist. Emperor Batian? Zhang Tao was puzzled. Heavenly Emperor Dragon Transformation smiled and said, "A powerhouse whose strength is powerful, but is a simple-looking powerhouse, a supreme powerhouse." He walked the extreme Tao of the physical body and was a very kind person. What a pity. Also dead. He should be dead. Heavenly Emperor Dragon Transformation sighed and said, "Heavenly Emperor Batian, Heavenly Emperor Exterminating, Heavenly Emperor Zhan." These few were all powerhouses comparable to the various sovereigns in the past. Someone once said that if a few people joined forces, they could kill an emperor. I have never seen Heaven battling the Arch in action, but I have sensed his aura. He is indeed extremely powerful. When the arrow was shot, I felt like I would die at any moment. The Batian Celestial Emperor's killing intent was not heavy, and he was also an expert who loved to joke around. During the Heavenly Court's martial arts exhibition, he broke through the 9 heavens with one punch. 9th heaven? Zhang Tao was puzzled again. What kind of measuring method was this? This is the space you speak of? Today, We have only broken through the first layer of space. One layer after another, Emperor Bation broke through the ninth layer. Extremely terrifying. One layer after another, Zhang Tao murmured. Nowadays, to break through space in the catacombs, one needed a vitality outburst of 150,000 calories. This stack, how was it stacked? 150,000, 300,000, 600,000 won. 2 million like this? Or was it stacked together? Or perhaps it was only 9 times of 150,000. This should not be the case. Otherwise, he would not be as strong as him. After all, the 150,000 calories needed to break through space was only a requirement under the absolute peak. If it is not stacked and only stacked, then wouldn't it require 38? 4 million calories vitality to break through the ninth layer? Even the absolute peak would require 19. 2 million calories? For the first time, Zhang Tao seemed a little shocked. He had to clarify and said quickly, "Venerable Emperor, this is 1 calorie vitality. How many cal are needed to break through the ninth layer?" The ancient martial era did not seem to have a specific measurement unit. Zhang Tao did not know if Heavenly Emperor Dragon Transformation knew that at this moment, an extremely subtle vitality force was condensing in his hand. If Fong Ping saw it, he would probably be shocked. Separating 1 calorie of vitality. This was something Li Jun could not do. Li Jun's void-piercing sword technique had a vitality of 3 calories. As for Zhang Tao, at this moment, he condensed 1 calorie vitality easily. 1 calorie. This actually represented 100% control of strength. This Fong Ping had always felt that no one could do this, except for previously in Combat Heavenly Palace, when he saw that archery target. Everyone had such a guess. Heavenly Emperor Dragon Transformation's expression changed slightly. Vitality force was actually universal. It was just that back then, some people cultivated vitality while others cultivated energy force. In fact, he also cultivated vitality force. An ancient great emperor like him could actually split his strength into 1 calorie with some effort. However, how old was this person in front of him? Without the accumulation of time, how could he do it? Although he was shocked, Heavenly Emperor Dragon Transformation glanced at it and thought for a while before saying, "It's hard to determine the specific number, but I'm afraid it's no less than 10 million. That was 10 million cal. The absolute peak of 10 million cal. Zhang Tao said in disbelief. How is that possible? They are both emperor level. 1 million cal can be called an emperor. How could they cultivate to this realm? Extreme Tao? But no matter how extreme, it should not be to this extent." Heavenly Emperor Dragon Transformation said slightly bitterly. This is the difference between ordinary venerable emperors and extreme Tao heavenly emperors. Therefore, at the beginning of the era of gods and demons, ordinary venerable sovereigns were only overlords, while extreme path celestial emperors were the overlords of the heaven realm and the overlords of the 3 realms. Even when the various sovereigns were having a meeting, they would also invite the various extreme Tao heavenly emperors to discuss together. It was said to be the 9 sovereigns ruling together, but in reality, it was the extreme Tao heavenly emperor and the various sovereigns ruling together. However, the few extreme Tao heavenly emperors were all focused on the extreme Tao. Compared to the various sovereigns, they were even more low profile and rarely showed themselves. Ordinary powerhouses did not even know that there were extreme Tao heavenly emperors. The one who truly made extreme Tao heavenly emperor known by people was not Heavenly Emperor Batian, but Heavenly Emperor Zhan. Zhan Tiandi once shot an arrow at the Heavenly Court's banquet to shock all the emperors. The human emperor and the earth emperor's expressions changed. If it wasn't for the East Emperor's intervention, a war between the emperors would have broken out. Zhang Tao did not say anything and was still shocked by extreme Tao heavenly emperor's might. He knew that the other party was strong, but he didn't expect it to be this strong. 10 million cal? 10 million cal at the peak? What kind of concept was this? 10 times that of an ordinary emperor-level powerhouse. This was already a qualitative change. With a difference of 10 times, it was no longer an ordinary accumulation. Was this the strength of a sovereign and extreme Tao heavenly emperor? No wonder everyone wanted to become a sovereign. One sovereign, suppressing the heavens. 10 times that of a great emperor. This was not what 10 great emperors could defeat the other party. Even 100 would not do. No wonder when the Earth Emperor Divine Dynasty was established. Even if the heavenly realm disappeared, no one dared to resist and dared to question. Only until the later stages, knowing that the earthly sovereign was just a projection, did they launch an attack. Who dared? If the earthly sovereign's true body existed, probably no one dared to resist. Zhang Tao somewhat sighed for a moment and muttered, I once thought that the difference between sovereigns and us isn't big. I, Zhang Tao, might not necessarily be unable to battle sovereigns. But now, I understand that this Zhang was conceited. The moment these words came out, Heavenly Emperor Dragon Transformation's body trembled slightly and suddenly had an impulse to leave. He could not quite stand this human sovereign anymore. You, an emperor-level powerhouse. How can you be so inflated? Each sentence sounded like bragging. This ancient Empyrean was here. Weren't you afraid of exposing you and making you lose face? Old Zhang ignored him and continued. Then why can't this kind of situation happen now? This Zhang has never broken through the second layered heaven. Once the boundary is exceeded, the spatial battlefield will appear. This is something that happened after the heavenly realm shattered. Heavenly Emperor Dragon Transformation could not be bothered to go and explained. Only after the heavenly realm shattered did there appear the spatial battlefield. This should be a certain supreme powerhouse's source space that drifted into space. Once the battle is intense, it will trigger this thing to appear. The spatial battlefield is very big. The source space is so huge. As Zhang Tao said, he seemed to be deep in thought as he said, is it still a mountain in a mustard seed? Then in this case, can one find the entrance leading to this supreme powerhouse's source, Great Tao, in the spatial battlefield? There was once someone who thought so. Heavenly Emperor Dragon Transformation also did not deny that the source space was a black room. The black room had a passageway entrance. Powerhouses who opened up the source Great Tao would all have this thing. Apart from cats. Since that was the case, then whether or not they could find the other party's source Great Tao entrance in the spatial battlefield, this was also what many people looked forward to. Unfortunately, many years passed, and they did not discover this either. Zhang Tao was deep in thought once more, thought about it, and said, is there a possibility that the heavenly realm fell into a spatial layer? Amen? Heavenly Emperor Dragon Transformation frowned and looked at him and said, you want to search for the heavenly realm remnant site? I have this intention. I advise you best not to go. It's very dangerous. I hope that Empyrean can tell me if there's this possibility. Heavenly Emperor Dragon Transformation thought about it before saying, there's a possibility. Although the heavenly realm was destroyed, it wasn't completely destroyed. The broken heavenly realm still exists. As for its specific location, not many people know. Most of the people who know are all dead. In the past, some people had gone before, but the result was heavy casualties. Those guys who were alive might not dare to go now. Furthermore, the broken heavenly realm might move and might not be in the same place anymore. Is that so? Zhang Tao was deep in thought again. In this case, it was also possible that the heavenly realm appeared in the spatial battlefield. Just as he was thinking, the corners of Zhang Tao's mouth curled up slightly. In front, a sickly middle-aged man already appeared in front of him. Sigh. Really don't want to start a massacre. After all, they're all my human seniors. Zhang Tao sighed lightly, the sigh spreading very far away. In the distance, the middle-aged man's complexion was slightly pale. Turning his head to glance at him, he did not express anything when he saw Zhang Tao. When he saw Heavenly Emperor Dragon Transformation, he furrowed his brows slightly and nodded lightly. Heavenly Emperor Dragon Transformation, that was an old antique. Heavenly Emperor Great Peace. Zhang Tao laughed and said politely, give me some face, Heavenly Emperor. How about leaving now? Fong Ping is just a junior. Heavenly Emperor, why bother with him? The middle-aged man frowned again and said coolly, hand over the heaven-punishing sword and combat Heavenly Palace. and this heavenly emperor will naturally not make things difficult for him. What a pity, Zhang Tao lamented. Using peaceful means before resorting to force. It ended in failure every time. Was I, Zhang Tao, not polite enough? This was not even the first time. Being a civilized person is really hard. Old Zhang lamented again, walking forward with a smile, as if seeing a good friend that he had not seen for many years. The smile on his face never dissipated. Heavenly Emperor Great Peace took a look, his expression gradually changing. This person, what was he trying to do? Chapter 9:18. Right now, Fong Ping naturally did not know that old Zhang had encountered Heavenly Emperor Great Peace. Right now, Fong Ping was hiding from his pursuers. Fong Ping hid himself behind a reef in the middle of the sea. He waited until the gigantic monster above his head swam away before he breathed a sigh of relief. Not bad. Let's just drag it out. Fong Ping realized that restraining his aura was still useful. Just now, when that monstrous beast appeared, he was able to sense a slight fluctuation in advance from 100 meters away. From the looks of it, although the Forbidden Sea was concealing its aura, it was still possible to sense it if the distance was extremely close, or if they were in the same sea. As for him, he was like a rock in the sea. There were many reefs at the bottom of the sea. As long as he was careful and did not cause too much of a commotion, these demons would not be able to discover him. How many days can an Emperor-level expert stay here? Fong Ping did not believe that an Emperor-level powerhouse could stay here forever. If that was the case, the Forbidden Sea would not have become the biggest Forbidden Land. As long as he could find a gap, he could quickly leave this place. The world was so big. Where couldn't he go? As he thought about these things, Fong Ping pinched a coral-like fragment in his hand. His eyes flickered. Treasure. The taboo sea was indeed a place rich in treasures. The heavenly golden lotus from before was produced in the Forbidden Sea. The small piece of coral in his hand gave him a feeling that it was not much inferior to a small petal of a heavenly golden lotus. It's a good place. The Forbidden Sea is so huge, there must be a lot of treasures. The demons that can enter the sea here are only 8th or 9th ranked demons. They can't be found everywhere. Fong Ping's brows furrowed slightly as he thought about this. Again, this time it was just a rank 8 demon. A rank 8 demon dared to come after him? Do you really think I don't dare to kill you? Let's find a place to repair the House of Gold. Once it's done, I'll kill you all. Fong Ping was not in a hurry to leave. If he left now, it would definitely be the time when the defense was the tightest. There were powerhouses everywhere. After repairing the Golden House, he would kill all the demons that were chasing him. He did not believe that rank 8 and rank 9 demons were so worthless that they could be found everywhere. It just so happened that the divine weapon was broken, and he needed a divine weapon. Old Man Li had shattered another one. On Tianmu's side, his divine weapon had also shattered. He had not been able to equip himself. The gap was not small. The heart and brain of the demonic dragon's corpse have been destroyed by me. Although the corpse is very strong, it is not enough to create a divine weapon. That's fine. These fellows can give me some demonic cores. With that in mind, Fong Ping carefully began to dig a hole under a reef. It was best to dig a hole to treat his injuries. He was like a rock. If he dug a hole and buried himself, those people wouldn't be able to find him. Soon, a small hole appeared in front of them. Fong Ping crawled in slowly, carefully filling up the hole. At this moment, not only did Fong Ping need to heal his injuries, but he also needed to replenish his imperishable substance continuously to maintain his golden body's consumption. The corrosive force here was too strong, and the consumption was also huge. While Fong Ping was recuperating, many of Fate King's group had already left the Taboo Sea. In the sky above the Taboo Sea, the Fate King sent out a palm strike, causing the entire Taboo Sea to tremble slightly. Of course, that was just an illusion. However, the aftermath of the attack was indeed very big. Several demonic beasts in the vicinity were directly shattered and floated up. At this moment, the skinny elder leaped into the air and bellowed, How dare you kill the demon tribe of Nameless Mountain? Fate King frowned and said coldly, Are you going to pay for letting Fong Ping go? Junior, before the skinny elder could finish his sentence, Fate King's eyes turned cold. He sent out a palm strike, shattering the void directly. These ancient powerhouses, have they forgotten whose era this is? As one of the 4 true kings, Hall Masters of God Continent, Fate King had led Destiny Royal Court for hundreds of years. He wouldn't be afraid of these fellows. He even had his eyes on the 2 kings. After being despised by Fong Ping for a while, he was already filled with anger. Now that the skinny elder was berating him, how could Fate King tolerate it? The void shattered as a jade-white palm blotted out the sky and came crashing down on the old man. The old man snorted coldly and sent out a palm strike. Kacha! The void was like a mirror, directly shattered by the 2 of them. A black whirlpool appeared on the surface of the sea, but it dissipated quickly. Above the taboo sea, the energy consumption was very fast. Very soon, it would be absorbed by the seawater. Fate King attacked again, sending out another palm strike. Both of them fought across the sky, and for a moment, the murderous aura was boiling. At this moment, many powerhouses appeared in the surroundings. Some were smiling, some were gloating, and all of them were waiting to watch the show. At this moment, in the distance, the calm sea surface suddenly surged with huge waves. You dare! Zhang Tao, you have some guts. Heavenly Emperor Great Peace's furious roar resounded throughout the Forbidden Sea. Zhang Tao actually dared to attack him. Senior Great Peace is just a spar. Why are you so anxious? Zhang Tao's laughter transmitted over. In the next instant, Heavenly Emperor Dragon Transformation stepped out of the sea, looked around, and said indifferently, These 2 want to spar. This emperor will be the judge. Everyone, you can watch, but you can't cross the line. Whoever interferes, this emperor won't be polite either. Dragon Transformation. At this time, in the sea, Heavenly Emperor Great Peace was enraged. Spar? Who wanted to spar with Zhang Tao? Furthermore, Zhang Tao attacked with killing intent the moment he came. This was also called spar? Heavenly Emperor Dragon Transformation actually joined hands with Zhang Tao. Heavenly Emperor Dragon Transformation said indifferently, Spar properly. This emperor won't interfere. Great Peace, you're also a senior venerable emperor. Just kill him. This emperor won't say a word. Could it be that you're not even comparable to a junior? Dragon Transformation, you don't need to provoke me. This junior dares to bully me like this. This emperor must kill him. Heavenly Emperor Great Peace roared angrily. Following that, the Forbidden Sea was torn apart. In the sea, an abyssal canyon formed. Heavenly Emperor Great Peace's hands tore the surface of the sea, wanting to soar into the sky to fight. But at this time, Zhang Tao laughed, the bamboo whip in his hand lashing down. Rumble! A loud sound, trembling until the entire Forbidden Sea swayed a bit. Large amounts of seawater flowed in reverse. Zhang Tao smiled faintly and said, You and I spar, just you and I know. Why let others watch and lose face for us? The seawater fell down. Everyone could only hear the movements, but they were unable to see the situation of the 2 people exchanging blows clearly. Martial King is quite bold. Fate King laughed, smiling playfully. Looking at the thin old man, he said coldly, You want to try with this king? The thin old man's eyes were cold and fierce. At this time, Heavenly Emperor Chang Rong stepped on the air and came over, saying with a faint smile, No need to be anxious. The human realm's human sovereign, perhaps it should be called human king. Exchanging blows with great peace. Such a grand occasion should be observed. 2 emperor-level experts exchanging blows. This was what was exciting. Everyone actually also wanted to see just how strong this human realm's human king was. Previously, they heard that this person awed many heaven beyond heavens in the human realm. They also wanted to see what capabilities he had to awe everyone. At this moment, not just these people, there were also some mental powers coming over from faraway places. Very long since they saw emperor-level experts fight. The last time Zhang Tao fought with Fate King these people, it was all a superficial exchange, and did not fight to the bitter end. But looking at it today, it might be a little more intense. Heavenly Emperor Chong-Rong looked at Heavenly Emperor Dragon Transformation, who was guarding in the air, and said with a smile, "Fellow Taoist Dragon Transformation, why did you get involved in this matter too?" Although he did not have Dragon Transformation, he was more or less the same. He did not have much apprehension either. Heavenly Emperor Dragon Transformation said coolly, "Just joining in the fun." Heavenly Emperor Chong-Rong did not mind his coldness either, and said with a smile, "This person is Zhang Tao, right? This old man has heard of him a few times before, but it was said that he just became a true god for a few years. I didn't expect that in a short time, he really achieved the position of emperor." Just now, when Zhang Tao's bamboo whip lashed down, he sensed that the other party had emperor-level strength. What was emperor level? Peak vitality of 1 million cow. This was emperor level. Regardless of whether or not one could walk 10,000 meters on the origin source Great Path, if one could not walk 10,000 meters, one would not be able to reach the overlord level. The 10,000-meter increase was doubled. The base vitality of an emperor-level powerhouse was almost always above 300,000 calories. With a base of around 330,000 calories, after walking 10,000 meters, one would almost be an emperor-level powerhouse. Before reaching the 10,000-meter mark, if he wanted to reach 1 million calories, his basic vitality would have to be even stronger. There were very few martial artists like that. Regardless of the situation, Zhang Tao had become an emperor-level expert at such a young age, which was enough to shock everyone. Heavenly Emperor Dragon Transformation looked down. At this moment, the seawater below was fluctuating unceasingly. Giving it a glance, Heavenly Emperor Dragon Transformation said indifferently, "This is human Tao. In the past, the decision made by the emperors was probably unfair. The human realm isn't without geniuses. It's no wonder that the emperors were dissatisfied with the decision." Chong-Rong scoffed and said, "I didn't see you mention this in the heavenly courts back then." Long Bian glanced at him and was too lazy to say anything. Who dared to deny the 9 emperors' joint determination? Of course, he did not dare to do so. However, there was someone who dared. Zhang Tiandi dared to do so. But in the end, didn't he still die and his Tao dissipate? Only these extreme Tao heavenly emperors had this qualification to refute. If he opened his mouth back then, he would probably be directly thrown out of the hall by the emperors. They would not give him any face. If he dared to speak any more, it would be normal for him to be killed directly. These 2 ancient emperors were talking. The others did not interrupt. Even Life King was listening quietly at this moment. He was also clueless about some ancient past events. There was no harm in listening more now. Just as he was listening, below, in the Forbidden Sea, a heaven-shaking roar came over. "Damn it, this is..." Before his voice faded, the voice dissipated. Everyone's faces changed slightly. Heavenly Emperor Great Peace did not seem to be a match for Zhang Tao. Although Heavenly Emperor Great Peace was injured, he was still an emperor-level powerhouse in essence. Even if Long Bian and the others had the possibility of defeating him, this matter could not be said to be 100% certain. Chong-Rong was restless and wanted to go down to the sea to take a look. Heavenly Emperor Dragon Transformation suddenly erupted with his aura. At this moment, the sky above the Forbidden Sea was punctured. Heavenly Emperor Dragon Transformation said coldly, "Everyone, it's best to wait for a while. Don't delay the spar at this moment." Humph! Someone snorted lightly. This was a true god powerhouse, or rather a true king powerhouse, from Heavenly Plant's royal court. This time, quite a few of these true kings came too. They were not familiar with Long Bian and these people. Even though they knew that these people might be powerhouses from the Second King's era, they did not care too much either. In the end, just as he finished snorting, this person's expression changed. Right at this moment, the void in front of him exploded. A large hand that could prop up the heavens suddenly appeared, a palm smacking down. Rumble! This true king powerhouse was directly slapped into the sea. Golden blood splashed up in the sea. After a moment, this person soared into the air, his expression livid, his face vigilant. In the distance, Heavenly Emperor Dragon Transformation said indifferently, "This emperor has no intention of becoming enemies with anyone. But this emperor will say it first. Everyone, it's best to abide by some rules. This emperor's lifespan is at its end. My great limit is about to arrive. Before dying, don't force this emperor to take away a few good friends." The moment these words came out, even Heavenly Emperor Chang Rong did not make a sound either. Not worth it. Long Bian was about to die. Fighting with him for this minor matter at this time. Once this guy went crazy with his strength, he could really kill an emperor-level powerhouse and perish together. Just as the atmosphere in the sky fell to a standstill. In the sea, Zhang Tao's book directly wrapped around the two people, like Fong Ping's golden house, surrounding the two people in the book. The two people both fell into the enormous book and battled. Zhang Tao was like a teacher, his bamboo whip pointing. A large golden character shot out from the book, charging toward Heavenly Emperor Great Peace. The large golden character was like a real person, wielding all kinds of weapons, charging toward the other party in formation. Heavenly Emperor Great Peace's expression changed drastically at this moment. This is the myriad Daos of the heavens. What great ambition, wanting to walk through the myriad Daos of the heavens. Wrong, the convergence of the myriad Daos. Zhang Tao was calm and composed as he said with a smile, "I don't walk the myriad Daos of the heavens. The myriad Daos will converge in the end. This is my return to one Dao." Return to one. Your ambition is greater than I imagined. Walking the myriad Daos of the heavens, that was walking one Dao at a time. In the end, it was still the myriad Daos. But the myriad Daos converged into one. Not only did one have to walk, but after walking, they still had to converge, which was even more difficult. This person was too terrifying. Heavenly Emperor Great Peace was a little frightened. With a low growl, a large golden seal appeared in his hand. The golden seal instantly grew to the size of a mountain, smashing the golden character that Zhang Tao had created. Seeing this, Zhang Tao sighed. It still doesn't work. Looks like this method can only be used against those weaklings. Forget it. Since the myriad Daos are going to converge, it won't be the return to one Dao if it's scattered. Having said that, the golden characters suddenly disappeared. In the next moment, they all merged into Zhang Tao's body. At this moment, Zhang Tao's aura skyrocketed. At this moment, he was like an ancient giant. The bamboo whip in his hand expanded countless times, lashing at the golden seal. Rumble! With a loud sound, the golden seal's light suddenly dimmed. A trace of regret flashed in Heavenly Emperor Great Peace's eyes. Zhang Tao smiled. It's rare to see a desperate divine weapon. You're quite lucky. A desperate despair divine weapon. That was really too rare to see. On the other hand, divine weapons were much stronger than the ultimate divine weapons, but Zhang Tao had seen many of them. Heavenly Emperor Great Peace snorted coldly. Looking at the crystal book that wrapped around him, he said coldly, "You want to kill me? You just found out? You're very arrogant. Is that so? I don't think so. I never do things that I'm not confident in. If I say I'll kill you, then I'll kill you." As soon as he said that, as if teleporting, Zhang Tao appeared in front of Heavenly Emperor Great Peace in the blink of an eye, lashing out with his whip. Smack! With a crisp sound, Heavenly Emperor Great Peace's face was directly split in half. "Young man, you, don't thank me for killing you." Zhang Tao's speed was too fast. In the crystal book, he seemed to have a special method. Countless Zhang Tao appeared in the entire space like afterimages, but all of them were lethal. Smack! 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 The sound of the whip lashing was endless. Cracks gradually appeared on Heavenly Emperor Great Peace's body. Zhang Tao's laughter continued, coming from all directions. "I can't let others see it. If they see it, you old antiques won't understand. That kid Fong Ping's head is full of filthy thoughts. He might misunderstand. I, Zhang Tao, am the Minister of Education. Why would I have those filthy thoughts? These young people just like to think too much." Having said that, countless whip shadows densely covered the void. Heavenly Emperor Great Peace did not say anything. he suddenly stretched out both hands and grabbed the long whip. Just as he was about to exert force, Zhang Tao laughed. "You like it? Then I'll give it to you." Rumble. Mentality exploded. The bamboo whip was not a physical object. It was the embodiment of origin path, mentality, and willpower. It was useless for Heavenly Emperor Great Peace to grab the bamboo whip. With this explosion, Heavenly Emperor Great Peace's hands instantly turned into withered bones. Sensing all this, Heavenly Emperor Great Peace's expression changed. At this time, he no longer waited for death. His speed also broke through the limit, breaking through the air to attack. Zhang Tao's shadows were smashed one after another. Zhang Tao seemed to be everywhere. He continued to laugh. "Old man, stop struggling. You can't escape." "Escape? This emperor will kill you today." The two of them talked as they fought. Cracks appeared on the crystal book several times. Every time a crack appeared, there would be a huge roar in the outside world. Tsunami. The aftermath of their battle overflowed, actually causing a tsunami in the Forbidden Sea. After all, Heavenly Emperor Great Peace was an emperor-level powerhouse. Even if he was weaker now, he was not weak. This went on for 3 times. Although Zhang Tao had a slight upper hand, he could not take him down. Feeling the passage of time, Zhang Tao sighed. If this goes on, there will be more and more people. Dragon transformation may not be able to stop it. Forget it. I'll use you as a sacrifice. As soon as he finished, in the space, Zhang Tao's shadows all dissipated, leaving only his real body. At this moment, even the bamboo whip disappeared. Abandon the brush and enter the army. Literature can bring peace to a country. Martial arts can bring peace to a country. Bamboo whip, that's education. I can't use the path of education against you people. Zhang Tao was still smiling. Even though Heavenly Emperor Great Peace had already rushed over to fight him, he was not impatient. 30 years ago, I thought that as a teacher, I can only save people, not kill people. But in this world, how can I not kill people? Teaching and educating people is for the sake of prosperity. Killing people, killing the wicked, is also for the sake of prosperity. King on the outside, sage on the inside. This is the king's way. Humanity. Right now, Zhang Tao was like Fong Ping, extremely long-winded. But Heavenly Emperor Great Peace was becoming more and more uneasy. He was getting more and more terrified. This was because as Zhang Tao spoke, his qi activity was changing. From the gentle and refined at the beginning, it had now become domineering and bloodthirsty. That thick blood stench made even an emperor-level powerhouse like him feel a little nauseous. Zhang Tao's voice was no longer playful. He said coldly, "If I don't kill, how can there be peace? In the human world, I am the minister. In the outside world, I am the martial king." Martial king. As soon as these 2 words came out, Zhang Tao seemed to have torn off his usual disguise. He was frighteningly cold. Fong Ping was not here at the moment. Otherwise, he would probably be stunned to see this scene. In his impression, old Zhang had never been so cold. So cold that it made people's hearts go cold. "Kill!" A loud roar resounded through the clouds. At this moment, even the crystal book could not withstand this thick, murderous aura. Li Jun said that his void-piercing swordsmanship technique had the heaviest murderous aura. However, at this moment, the murderous aura that erupted from Zhang Tao was far thicker than Li Jun's. The void seemed to have frozen. At this time, the Forbidden Sea's tsunami disappeared as if it had been frozen. In the space of the book, Great Peace's expression changed drastically. Without another word, he stepped into the air and bombarded the crystal book madly. In the blink of an eye, a huge crack appeared. He wanted to leave. This person's strength was more terrifying than he had imagined. Human demon, human Tao, and demonic Tao. King on the outside, sage on the inside, sage on the inside, demon on the outside. This was the emperor of this generation. Want to leave? Zhang Tao laughed fiercely. His hands were blood red as he grabbed Great Peace, Heavenly Emperor's legs. With a crack, His legs were crushed into pieces. Great Peace, Heavenly Emperor, did not even look at him. He continued flying toward the crack. He was not a match. If his injuries were healed, he would still have the confidence to fight. Right now, however, his injuries were not healed. The gap between them was huge. He was definitely not this person's match. Emperor, I will return to Great Peace Heaven. I will no longer participate in this matter. Admit defeat now? Do you think I, Zhang Tao, am shameless? Zhang Tao laughed maniacally. It was too late. Great Peace Heavenly Emperor's face was livid. He suddenly punched the sky and roared, "Everyone, help me. If you don't help me, I will die." Bang! His voice had just fallen when Zhang Tao's punch landed on his back, his entire back being punched through. A fierce light flashed in Great Peace Heavenly Emperor's eyes. He knew that there was no way to escape and no longer had the slightest hope of getting lucky. He turned around and started fighting a bloody battle with him. The two people's figures were so fast that it could not be captured. Only a series of muffled grunts came over. Above the Forbidden Sea, Great Peace Heavenly Emperors, if you don't help me, I will die, immediately shocked everyone. An Emperor-level master actually dared to say such words. At this moment, everyone's expressions changed. Heavenly Emperor Chang Rong's expression flickered incessantly as he said coldly, "Dragon transformation. This person is a great calamity. If you don't attack anymore, you might still be able to live for 3 to 5 years. At that time, you can also fight for it." Heavenly Emperor Dragon transformation was still cold. Whoever dares to interfere, this emperor will only kill the first person who attacks. The moment these words came out, everyone's expressions were strange. Heavenly Emperor Dragon transformation was extremely strong. If he really wanted to risk his life to kill someone, there was really a very high possibility. Who would be the game breaker? No one made a sound. No one was willing to fight with an ancient emperor who was about to fall. Humph! Heavenly Emperor Dragon transformation snorted coldly. I expected that you guys wouldn't dare. But at this moment, he was also extremely shocked. Zhang Tao could actually kill until Great Peace disregarded face and publicly asked for help. How could this person be so powerful? Everyone in the sky did not dare to move. Below, Zhang Tao laughed heartily when he saw that no one interfered. You guys are also fit to be chess players? Just a bunch of conceited fellows, laughable. Die! With a fierce cry, a blood-red long blade appeared in Zhang Tao's hand, chopping the other party's neck with one slash. Heavenly Emperor Great Peace's head directly fell off. But at this moment, his mental strength fluctuated violently. Zhang Tao's eyes dimmed. The next instant, he appeared inside a black room. Source space? Laughable. Zhang Tao laughed without knowing why. Competing in willpower with me? Competing in the strength of mental strength? Courting death. Rumble. Zhang Tao's fist smashed out. The black source space trembled a little. In the space, the unscathed Heavenly Emperor Great Peace's figure suddenly cracked as he said fiercely, "Impossible. Powerful physical body, powerful mental strength, powerful willpower. How could this person cultivate to such a level without any blind spots in a short few decades' time? You are trash, but that doesn't mean everyone is trash." Zhang Tao sneered again, charging straight at the other party. Midway, he punched out several times, causing huge cracks to appear in the source space. "Get out!" Heavenly Emperor Great Peace was terrified. He was wrong. He did not expect the other party's mental strength and willpower to be so strong. Now, he had let a wolf into the house. It's easy to lure you into the trap, but if you want to chase me away, that's going to be difficult. Zhang Tao chuckled. At this moment, he had already caught up to the other party, and he punched out again, blasting the other party into pieces. Today, I will kill an emperor. P.S. A little later than the third time, I was bullied. Chapter 919. At the bottom of the sea, Fong Ping cast his gaze into the distance. At this moment, the nearby sea was turbulent. Old Zhang has made a move. Feeling the entire forbidden sea trembling, Fong Ping suddenly realized that it was most likely old Zhang who had made a move. It's a big commotion. If that's the case, those powerhouses have been lured away? Fong Ping suddenly grinned. The golden house was almost repaired. He could not always let old Zhang be the boss. You kill the Emperor level. I'll go kill a few rank 8 and 9 monsters and get some divine weapons. Maybe I should go ashore for a walk. Fong Ping grinned. Would you believe that I would go ashore? Would you believe it? If old Zhang made a bigger commotion and killed the Emperor level, the Tao would collapse, the sky would fall, and the earth would crack. I should go ashore then. The reason why he wanted to go ashore was that there were still a few people he had not killed. Chang Shanqi, Lu Ji, Ji Yao, Hua Yu. I'll kill them one by one. Right. There's also Li Yi and Hua Qidao. I almost forgot about them. Fong Ping calculated for a while and walked out of the pothole. At this moment, there were no demons nearby. In a battle between great emperors, even if only a trace of residual power leaked, these demons who were not in the impasse realm would be on guard. How would they dare to continue searching? Fong Ping wandered at the bottom of the sea, as if he had entered in no man's land. Very soon, a monster appeared in front of him. The huge monster crouched at the bottom of the sea, shivering, not daring to move at all. Fong Ping was full of smiles. It was a pity that the cat was not here. Otherwise, if it saw this scene, the cat would probably go around eating skewers. The golden house suddenly appeared, covering the rank 9 monster instantly. Fong Ping entered at the same time. His golden body erupted. His hands turned into sabers and slashed down. Bang! The monster, with only the strength of a weak rank 9, had its 4 limbs chopped off in the blink of an eye. Ow! A shrill scream was heard. Fong Ping did not care at all. He blocked with one hand, blocking the monster's giant tail sweep. The huge monster's head bit toward Fong Ping. Fong Ping directly reached out and grabbed the other party's sharp teeth. With a grin on his face, he broke the other party's teeth with a crack. Trash! A weak rank 9 dares to search for me? Roar! The monster shrieked in pain, but Fong Ping did not give it any chance. His palm was like a knife, shooting out violently. His entire body pierced through the monster's mouth and through its skull. In the narrow space, the giant monster could not unleash its full power at all. The difference in strength between them was also too great. How could it be a match for Fong Ping? Back then, when Old Man Li was at Golden Body level 4 or 5, he could already kill a weak rank 9 in 3 moves. Now that Fong Ping had a 9th level Golden Body and restricted his opponent's movements, in the blink of an eye, he had completely destroyed the monster's golden body. The enemy couldn't even self-destruct. Every time it gathered its strength, Fong Ping would forcefully disperse it. Previously, when he was only at the 7th refinement of the golden body realm, he had already killed a weak 9th grade demonic beast. Now, he was much stronger than before. Poochie! Fong Ping reached into its abdomen with one hand. The next moment, he pulled out a blood-red core. It's mine! Fong Ping's destructive force erupted, obliterating the life force on his opponent's heart core immediately. D-Zun, this monster beast mentality had not been extinguished yet. It fluctuated violently, wanting to tell the skinny, venerable emperor that it had met Fong Ping. But in the House of Gold, it didn't have the ability to send messages. Fong Ping made his move again. His palm pierced into its head, and his other hand grabbed a transparent crystal. The brain nucleus was in his hands. Die. Thank you for sending me a 9th grade divine weapon. Fong Ping's destructive force erupted again, directly killing the miniaturized monster on the spot. His mentality was also completely obliterated. A weak rank 9 can't even withstand a single blow. Fong Ping shook his head slightly. Sigh, this person is too strong. In the past, I thought that he was incomparably strong, but now it seems like he is nothing more than this. Fong Ping chuckled as he stored the monster's carcass into his storage space. A rank 9 divine weapon was in his hands. I need to hurry up. While Old Zhang was working, he would kill more. Recently, the divine weapon had suffered serious losses. Last time, the rank 9 demon beasts were eaten up by the old cat. It had been a long time since a rank 9 demon beast's heart and brain core had entered his account. Buzz! The forbidden sea trembled once again. Fong Ping walked out of the golden house and looked into the distance. The fluctuation was coming from there. Just as he was deep in thought, he heard a shrill howl. Zhang Tao, spare my life. Fong Ping dug his ears. It was so ear-piercing. Who was this? So weak? He actually begged for mercy. This was too embarrassing. Even if he died, he would pretend to be a tough guy. He had lived for nearly 10,000 years, yet he was still so afraid of death. What was the point? What a disgrace. This won't do. Old Zhang's speed is too fast. I can't kill many of them, Fong Ping muttered in his heart. Did old Zhang kill ordinary true gods or venerable emperors? Killing venerable emperors would not be that fast, right? Whatever. I'll kill 1 or 2 more monsters and get a rank 9 divine weapon for Old Man Li. I'll go up. His own divine weapon was broken. Old Man Li and Tian Mu were also broken. 3 should be enough. Fong Ping continued to search. At this moment, those people probably did not expect him to dare to come out. Of course, at this moment, no one had time to pay attention to him. A venerable emperor was killed by Zhang Tao until he begged for mercy. This was the real big deal. A human martial artist who could threaten an emperor-level powerhouse had appeared. At this moment, including those catacombs' true kings, their attention was attracted. They were all extremely shocked. Not many people had the time to care about Fong Ping. If Fong Ping wanted to escape the encirclement, it was not something that could be done in a short while either. At the same time when Fong Ping was secretly killing the rank 9 monster, that shrill roar, everyone heard it. At this moment, Heavenly Emperor Chang Rong suddenly shouted fiercely, "Dragon transformation, retreat. Otherwise, don't blame this emperor for killing your daughter." You say that again. At this moment, Heavenly Emperor Dragon Transformation's figure suddenly expanded, truly displaying the appearance of an ancient Heavenly Emperor. His height grew to 1,000 meters, towering into the clouds. A long sword appeared in Heavenly Emperor Dragon Transformation's hand, murderous intent shaking the heavens. Chang Rong, you're courting death. When his words fell, the sky suddenly turned pitch black. The entire Nanjiang catacomb sky darkened at this moment. A black rift cut the entire world into 2 halves. You dare to threaten this emperor. Today, this emperor will slaughter your Chang Rong heaven. Heavenly Emperor Dragon Transformation was thoroughly enraged, somewhat hysterical. He was even more furious and crazier than Heavenly Emperor Chang Rong. This person dared to say these words. Once he fell, Dragon Transformation would definitely be slaughtered. In for a penny, in for a pound. Taking advantage of today, he would kill Chang Rong. Buzz! The void trembled. The entire Nanjiang catacombs was shaking at this moment. Heavenly Emperor Chang Rong's expression changed slightly. This guy deserved death. Previously, this guy also threatened him. Now, he merely said a sentence, and Dragon Transformation actually wanted to fight to the death without another word. Even though Heavenly Emperor Chang Rong was furious and aggrieved, he did not show weakness at this time either. His aged body also grew to 1,000 meters in size at this moment. 2 giants instantly exchanged blows in the sky above the forbidden sea. One person wielded a sword, one wielded a spear. Spear and sword attacked in unison, akin to living things, penetrating one region of space after another, collapsing one region of the void after another. Some true king powerhouses fled one after another at this moment. These ancient powerhouses were indeed powerful. These 2 people fighting, even Fate King's expression suddenly became solemn. Very strong. This was a true emperor rank. These 2 people were both ancient powerhouses, incomparably ancient, much stronger than Heavenly Emperor Great Peace below. The 2 people fighting, the commotion was too great. At this moment, even the domain land not far away was trembling. Gong Yuzi's figure appeared. With a low cry, he went all out and started to stabilize the domain land, cursing countless times in his heart. These 2 bastards were fighting right at his doorstep. If this continued, the entire Purple Cap Mountain might completely collapse. This was still not enough. These 2 people were currently fighting. In the sea, An incomparably powerful pressure suddenly erupted. Heavenly Emperor Great Peace's hair was disheveled, his entire body bathed in blood. Soaring straight into the sky, he roared explosively. Zhang Tao, this emperor admits defeat. Don't force me to self-detonate. You try self-detonating. Zhang Tao was also incomparably domineering at this moment. Stepping on his golden boots, he stepped on the air and said with a faint smile, "Come, self-detonate. Blow me up. Consider yourself capable." As he said this, a crystal book appeared once more, blocking in front of Heavenly Emperor Great Peace. Fellow Taoists, do you all want to watch as this emperor perishes here and let this person defeat me one by one? Heavenly Emperor Great Peace was greatly terrified. In this moment of fighting in the sea, he was almost beaten to death by Zhang Tao. Even his source space was destroyed. At this moment, he was extremely seriously injured. If this continued, he would definitely die. Heavenly Emperor Great Peace's mournful roar seemed to make people feel sympathy for the death of a rabbit. The next moment, two phantoms appeared. Two experts, a man and a woman, appeared on both sides of Zhang Tao. The man said coldly, "Zhang Tao, where possible, one should forgive and forget. Other than you, who in your human world can really resist the human realm? Whether you establish the Heaven Division or the Earth Division, we don't want to fall out with you. If you kill Heavenly Emperor Great Peace, the human realm will have to become your enemy." "You sound like you won't become my enemy if I don't kill you," Zhang Tao said with a smile. "Since the two of you have stood out, then come at me together. Let's see how many people I can kill today." Arrogant. The two people's faces were ice cold. Without saying a word, they broke through the air and went straight for Zhang Tao. They couldn't let this person become the next unquestionable Jian. Years ago, when unquestionable Jian killed venerable sovereigns, it was the same at the beginning. Everyone stood by and watched, and in the end, many venerable sovereigns died. Now, there were not many venerable sovereigns left. If Zhang Tao killed one today and another tomorrow, who could resist him in the end? "Good. I'll kill to my heart's content today." Zhang Tao also shouted, his voice shaking the 9 heavens. Rumble. The Forbidden Sea went completely crazy. The seawater surged up crazily as if it was going to cover the whole world. Black cracks covered the entire sky above the Forbidden Sea. The area within a radius of thousands of miles was now completely dark. These people did not enter the realm battlefield, but fought in the sky above the Forbidden Sea. A total of 6 venerable sovereigns were fighting. Rumble. The bounded domain began to collapse. Gong Yuzi, who was inside, cursed angrily. "Damn, you bastards, noisy." Zhang Tao scolded directly. "If you dare to talk nonsense again, I'll kill you too." Gong Yuzi was so angry that he almost vomited blood. Soon he snorted coldly and stopped talking. These bastards, it was best if they all died. At most, Purple Cap Mountain would become a thing of the past. He did not care anymore. Gong Yuzi supported Purple Cap Mountain, trying to prevent it from collapsing. But the boundary wall was being hit hard by the aftermath, and it began to crack continuously. Zhang Tao was fighting 1 against 3, and he began to lose. Fortunately, the Great Peace Heavenly Emperor was seriously injured, and his combat power had declined, so he could barely hold on for a while. But Zhang Tao was also a ruthless person, and he focused on fighting the Great Peace Heavenly Emperor. He suddenly grabbed Great Peace Heavenly Emperor's arm with both hands, and with a low roar, he let the woman behind him pierce through his back. Great Peace Heavenly Emperor's arm was torn to pieces, and golden blood fell into the Forbidden Sea, causing another wave. 6 venerable sovereigns were fighting. At this moment, only Fate King and the thin old man, the 2 venerable sovereigns, did not fight. The 2 of them retreated a certain distance. Fate King glanced at the people fighting, and then looked at the thin old man, saying nothing. The thin old man said in a deep voice, "Let's attack together and kill this man." He felt threatened, just like the time when he was chased by unquestionable Jian. Fate King was a little tempted. A martial king was indeed a huge threat. When injured, the Great Peace Heavenly Emperor's combat power was actually similar to that of Fate King, but he was still almost killed by Zhang Tao. Should he attack or not? Just as Fate King was about to agree, there was a rumble. There was an explosion. Crack! The border wall of Purple Cap Mountain was broken. It was not that Gong Yuzi could not hold on, but someone had attacked the border wall and broken it. Battle King appeared, and he shouted angrily, "Attack! Otherwise, you and I will have nothing to do with each other, and I, Jiang Tianming, will not have anything to do with Purple Cap Mountain." Jiang Tianming. Gong Yuzi was furious. Jiang Tianming broke the border wall while he was distracted. This bastard. Did he know what he was doing? "Attack!" Battle King shouted. "Otherwise, don't blame me for revealing everything." Do you really think I don't know anything? You deal with Fate King. Leave that old thing to me. Gong Yuzi's face was livid, and he suddenly shouted angrily. He soared into the sky and went straight for Fate King. Fate King cursed inwardly, but he did not hesitate and also charged toward Gong Yuzi. He also wanted to feel how powerful these Demon Emperor-era powerhouses were. The two of them fought in an instant. At this moment, the entire Nanjiang catacombs had really turned completely dark. Incomparably dark. The energy sun in the sky could not be seen at all. Battle King also did not say a word, and he charged toward the thin old man. He could feel the two of them just now. If not for that, he would not have forcefully broken the border wall of Purple Cap Mountain. Although Battle King was not Emperor rank, he was not too far from it. At this moment, he charged with no regard for his life, and his aura was also magnificent, and his chi and blood shot into the sky. The thin old man snorted coldly, and a thin sword shot out, charging toward Battle King. Non-Emperor rank dared to provoke him, courting death. At this moment, Zhang Tao was fighting 1 against 3, but he laughed wildly and said, "Battle King, good job. From today onwards, you will be the pillar of my new martial era." Battle King. Zhang Tao completely recognized him. Time and time again, they were bathed in blood and killed. Time and time again, they stood up for humanity when they were weak. Every time, they narrowly escaped death, but they were still willing to fight their way out. Battle King swore, "Do I need your recognition? When I was at the peak, your ancestors were not even born. What are you pretending to be in front of me?" "Huh?" Zhang Tao laughed, not minding the old man scolding at all. As he laughed, he roared and punched the golden body of the Great Peace Heavenly Emperor. The Great Peace Heavenly Emperor recovered quickly, and his face became even paler. He said mournfully, "My two friends, go all out. Do you really want to wait for me to die?" "Kill." The two venerable sovereigns also did not hold back. They tore the space apart, and Zhang Tao's golden bones cracked, and blood flowed from his mouth. Were 3 venerable sovereigns not enough to kill a junior? The 3 people were all incomparably frenzied. Zhang Tao was even more frenzied than them, simply putting away the source book. Barehanded, he completely stopped defending and clashed head-on with the 3 people. Tremendous vital energy even solidified, turning into blood pillars that fell to the bottom of the sea. Over there, Heavenly Emperor Dragon Transformation was also frenzied. A long sword tore apart countless spaces, fighting with Heavenly Emperor Chang Rong from the crack to the outside. His eyes were blood-red, fighting until Heavenly Emperor Chang Rong repeatedly smashed through space, his physical body cracking. Lunatic! Heavenly Emperor Chang Rong cursed in his heart. Dragon Transformation had gone mad. Just because of a sentence from him, this guy even did not hesitate to exhaust his life source to fight with him. If this continued, he would be completely suppressed very soon. He had no interest in exhausting the already little life source left. "Chang Rong, if you don't die today, from today onwards, this old man will stop you. Chang Rong Tian, for every day I don't die. If I encounter you, Chang Rong Tian, I'll kill 1 person. This old man will also bring you along before I die." Heavenly Emperor Chang Rong was about to curse. He cursed. At this moment, Chang Shanqi and the young emperor who had escaped the domain zone wanted to curse even more. How did Master provoke Heavenly Emperor Dragon transformation? A dignified, ancient, venerable emperor said that he would kill one person on sight. This was not a joke. From today onwards, as long as Heavenly Emperor Dragon transformation did not die, they could forget about leaving Chang Rongtian. An ancient, venerable emperor blocking the door. Such a thing had never happened since ancient times. Chaos. The vicinity of Nanjiang's catacombs was in a mess at this time. Not only Nanjiang, but the North Lakes catacombs were also in a mess. In the Forbidden Sea, many powerhouses were fighting until the sky fell and the earth cracked. This was not a lie. The sky really collapsed. At this moment, it was pitch black. Tsunami. The Forbidden Sea's sea water tsunami. At this moment, the Forbidden Sea demon clan in the periphery, without exception, fled toward the inner periphery frantically. As for besieging and killing Fong Ping, emperor ranks were participating in the battle. True kings had begun to flee, who would still remember Fong Ping. At this moment, Fong Ping crawled out from the edge of the Forbidden Sea, a sorrowful look on his face. Old Zhang, when are you going to get rid of these true king emperors? He was about to cry. The limelight was stolen again. I was clearly the main character this time again. Keep the commotion down. Just fight with the great emperors in the dark. Now the commotion is so big. Where can I go to reason? Sigh. Fong Ping let out a long sigh. If the great emperors don't die, I won't be able to show off. When he was in the emperor's tomb, he was so domineering. He would kill whoever he wanted. He would scold whoever he wanted. At that time, heaven was the first, earth was the second, and he was the third. Now, forget it. Fong Ping comforted himself. These people were all old antiques. He would not argue with them. Although he thought about it, Fong Ping still had some worries in his eyes. He saw something. Old Zhang seemed to be fighting 1 against 3, and his injuries were not light. Don't fall into it. Fong Ping was worried, calling out in his heart continuously. Brother Cat, are you there? Pick up the phone. After calling for a long time, the old cat finally appeared in Fong Ping's mind with its tongue out, panting tiredly. It panted, saying, "Don't call anymore. I know the other side is fighting until their brains are mushed. I can't help it. There are so many titled true gods. I can't beat them. I still have 2 more. Meow. I can't finish the feast. They hit me. Meow. They wanted to find the fake human emperor to save me. So pitiful. Meow." At this time, the old cat was extremely pitiful. Then, it flew into a rage and said, "They hit me. They hit this cat of mine. It's so hateful. I'm angry, liar. Wait for my good news. I'm going to get reinforcements." Fong Ping was stunned. "You still have reinforcements?" "I do. Isn't Gong Zhuanzi still here? There are so many who can fight. I'm going to find Gong Zhuanzi. To find that person? Oh, right. There's also Doggy's little brother. I don't know if he's dead or not. Go and find him. I'm going to go crazy." The old cat almost put its hands on its waist and scolded. Bullying cats. The big water buffalo and the big crow were actually chasing after it. A kind cat like it was also being chased by monsters. It could not take it anymore. It wanted to summon its little brother to help. As for the previous incident of fishing for cows, it had forgotten. Who would remember that incident? Anyway, they were in the wrong. It was just a cat who wanted to eat a feast. Not only did they not give it, they even beat it, bullying cats. While Fong Ping was still in a daze, the old cat disappeared. Fong Ping had just regained consciousness for a moment. Rumble. A loud noise was heard. At this moment, the whole world fell silent. Then, a gigantic silhouette of a cat that covered the whole sky and earth appeared in the catacombs. In the air, the gigantic silhouette of a cat held a broken gong in one paw and a gong hammer in the other, hitting it hard. "Help! Gong Zhuanzi! You! Help! A monster wants to kill a cat! Help!" Bang, bang, bang. This gigantic silhouette of a cat that covered the whole catacombs hit the gong so hard that even Fong Ping felt dizzy. This cat had this ability? While Fong Ping was still in shock, suddenly, an extremely powerful aura rose from the 7 Southern Territory. An extremely loud voice came from tens of thousands of miles away. Old cat, who dares to kill you? Ha ha, this old man wanted to wait for a while more to come out of the mountain, but you cat just had to make trouble. Gong Juanzi, whose mentality was extremely powerful, came out of the mountain at this moment. Quokang Mountain, one of the 10 ancient grotto heavens. As the master of Quokang Mountain, Gong Juanzi, the North Sea Emperor, although it had not been long since he achieved Tao, his ability was not weak, slightly stronger than Gong Yuzi. Not only that, at this moment, in the direction of the restricted area, a heaven-shaking silhouette appeared. Sky Emperor, this old man thought you were still sleeping. I didn't expect you to come out of the mountain. The Celestial Emperor is already dead. This old man owes the Celestial Emperor a favor in the past. Today, I will return it. Sky Emperor, who is so blind as to want to kill you too. At this time, in the direction of the Forbidden Sea, a gigantic silhouette of a dragon that covered the sky and the sun appeared. The gigantic dragon was incomparably huge. Speaking in human language, this emperor has made a move. The next time you dare to fish this emperor's descendant, this emperor will demand an explanation from you. The cat seemed surprised and a little shy, saying loudly, I'm not fishing anymore. I'm not fishing anymore. Dragon Emperor, you're not dead yet? Haha, this emperor will not die so easily. It's a pity that the Celestial Emperor. At this moment, the 3 emperor-level powerhouses came out of their hibernation. They came only for the cat, separated by tens of thousands of li, even more than 100,000 li. The few venerable emperors broke through space, advancing continuously, their murderous intent boiling. Just now, Fong Ping was scolding old Zhang. At this moment, old Zhang suddenly let loose a torrent of abuse. He did not mention any names, just scolding. A cat, stealing the limelight. Did this stupid cat not know that the minister was going to slaughter the emperors today? Among the 3 powerhouses, Gong Juanzi, who was the closest, rushed over in the blink of an eye. In the next second, Gong Juanzi and an incomparably huge bird-type monster tore through the void, and Magic City's catacombs fell into darkness. The Great War started again. At this moment, Fong Ping was already stunned. This cat was so skilled at calling for help. He seemed to vaguely remember something. A certain cat seemed to have said before that it often called for help. Back then, when Tengu was around, it seemed like it was often called for help. This cat, could it be the real mastermind? Tengu was actually a silly, simple-minded character that was ordered around every day. This cat doesn't fight. This cat is a cat that loves peace. These words were still ringing in his ears. Fong Ping, on the other hand, did not know whether to laugh or cry. Am I stupid? I really believed it before. It's not that you don't fight. The key is that you know how to blow the whistle. You guys go ahead and mess around. I'll go kill a few rank 9s and gather enough divine weapons for me. Fong Ping shook his head. With a shake of his body, he did not even know who he had become. His aura changed at will, and in the blink of an eye, he disappeared on the spot. Emperor-level powerhouses were fighting in the Forbidden Sea. He might as well go to the outer domain to show off. As for today, whether old Zhang stole the cat's limelight or the cat stole old Zhang's limelight, he would find out later. Today, whoever slaughtered the emperors would be the main character. The river flows east for 30 years, and then west for 30 years. These words emerged in Fong Ping's heart. I'll give you guys a chance today. After some time, it will be time for me to step onto the stage. Chapter 920. The sky was dark. In the sky above the Forbidden Sea, there were many emperors participating in the battle today. Giants stood towering over the Forbidden Ocean. 7 southern regions, 8 southern regions, 9 southern regions. The southern outer regions looked like the end of the world. The oppressive feeling made it hard for the people of the southern regions to breathe. If it were not for the Forbidden Sea's ability to absorb energy and restrict the overflow of the pressure, no ordinary people in the southern regions would have survived this battle. At this moment, everyone's eyes were focused on the Forbidden Sea. He looked at the cat, looked at Zhang Tao, looked at the grandmasters, looked at the land of bounded boundaries, powerhouses, an emperor battle. A battle between many emperors. Such a battle had erupted once again in the past 1,000 years. Apart from 1,000 years ago, a battle of this scale had never occurred again. Chaos was coming, and powerhouses from all sides appeared frequently. Gigantic Willow City. Hua Qidao and the others were not in the mood to watch the sky anymore. They were all looking at the Forbidden Sea. Li Yi's face was pale. He muttered, "Is this the Emperor powerhouse they were talking about? He's too strong." The dragon transformation Celestial Emperor's sword had split the sky. Even if they were thousands of miles away, they could still see that sword. The cat grew bigger. The sound of the gong traveled hundreds of thousands of miles. They heard it too and were shocked. The martial king's aura overflowed and could be felt clearly from thousands of miles away. They could also sense the venerable emperors who were fighting. These people were the strongest powerhouses of this era. Li was in a trance for a moment. He said in a low voice, "Father, can it really be done? Could he really achieve his goal? Could he really scheme against these people? Too strong." There were more and more powerhouses. How strong was his father? How much had he recovered? Li was not sure about this. He only knew that a powerhouse like King Feng would only be average if he came today. Hua Qidao and the gigantic Willow City Lord did not say anything. No one knew how much Li Zhu's strength had recovered. Was he at the peak of divine path? If he was still at his previous level, it would be terrible. At this time, even the true king powerhouses were having a hard time. The battle was still going on, and the pressure was still there. Li took a deep breath. "They're too far away from us. General Hua, is there any news from the Emperor's tomb?" "There are some," Hua Qidao said quickly. "There were heavy casualties. Not many people made it out alive. We haven't found Feng Ping. Rumor has it that he's trapped in the Forbidden Ocean." This information had been relayed through the sky screen and some warriors. The specific details had not reached them yet. Feng Ping better die in the Forbidden Sea. Lian snorted coldly and looked in the direction of the Forbidden Sea again. At this moment, there were so many powerhouses fighting over there. It would be strange if a martial artist like Feng Ping did not die in the slightest ripple. Li hoped that Feng Ping would die. Many shared the same sentiments. Hua Yu, Ji Yao, Chang Shanqi. These people were all looking in the direction of the Forbidden Sea. It was not their turn to worry about a battle between emperor-level powerhouses, but Feng Ping was trapped in the Forbidden Sea. Was he still not dead? Moreover, the Forbidden Sea was extremely dangerous. Feng Ping seemed to have entered the Forbidden Sea for a very long time. Until now, there was no trace of him at all. Could he have already died in the sea? Within Nanjiang City, Wang Jinyang and the others who were brought here by the Battle King also wore worried expressions. Li Hansong tried to liven up the atmosphere and said, "The green cat is pretty awesome. This broken gong actually got so many helpers." As he spoke, Yao Qingjun said mildly, "When the Heavenly Hound besieged you back then, it might have been the helpers that the green cat got. Do you still think that's awesome?" Li Hansong was speechless. He could not respond. Wang Jinyang stood on the city wall and looked into the distance. He said in a low voice, "Don't talk about these useless things. Don't worry, Feng Ping will be fine. Since the minister is here and the green cat is also here, Feng Ping won't die over there." In order to cover their escape, Feng Ping had exposed his whereabouts and became the target of public criticism. If it were not for Feng Ping, Zhang Tao would not have made a move now. He could not wait for those emperor-level powerhouses to kill each other. Why would he get involved now? Now that Zhang Tao had joined the fight and the Battle King had rushed over, it must be to help Feng Ping escape successfully. Damn it! Li Hansong suddenly cursed and muttered, "It's a pity that I didn't cultivate to the strength of my past life. Otherwise, even the Heavenly Hound would take a detour when it sees me. Why would I be afraid of these guys?" He did not know much about his past life. However, according to Wang Ruobing, even the Heavenly Hound would run when it saw him, although this dog called for people to attack him later. How strong was the Heavenly Hound? There was no way to verify this. However, as far as he knew, the Heavenly Hound might be the strongest group of powerhouses below the Emperors. If such a powerhouse had to call for help, his strength in his past life could be seen. As soon as this was said, even old Wang sighed slightly. Although this life was only for Wang Jinyang, it was impossible to say that he did not think about Heavenly Emperor Zhan's strength and intimidating everyone. If he had Heavenly Emperor Zhan's strength now, would he need to do this? Would he need to hide here and wait for those Emperor-level powerhouses to fight? At this time, Wang Jinyang could not help but think of the Skyfall land that unquestionable Jian mentioned before. A heart allowed Fang Ping, an old man, Li to enter rank 8-9 refinements. Li Hansong entered rank 8-6 refinements, and Yao Qinjun entered rank 8-4 refinements. He benefited a lot. At this moment, he could not talk about how many refinements he had. He was not even at the golden body stage. His vitality was transforming. Originally, a rank 7 powerhouse at peak vitality would not exceed 50,000 calories at most. As for him, he had not forged a golden body yet, but his vitality had reached about 70,000 calories. 70,000 calories was about the strength of a rank 8-3 refinements. However, Wang Jinyang realized that his vitality was transforming in nature. As if thousands of Daos had become one, his vitality was becoming stronger. At this moment, it had even faintly reached the level of thousands of Daos becoming one. Moreover, Wang Jinyang felt that he could continue to transform. Perhaps his vitality force was not high overall, but it might eventually reach 3 times, 4 times, or even more powerful. At this time, his vitality was 70,000 calories, but it was equivalent to 140,000 calories. In addition to the God of War Bao's enhancement, the arrow shot in the Emperor's tomb earlier had a vague power that could break space in the outside world. As for breaking space, this was at least a rank 4 or 5 stage and above powerhouse could do it. This is still a heart, and everyone absorbed it separately. According to unquestionable Jian, there might be corpses in the Skyfall land. Heavenly Emperors, Li Hansong's in his past life, Yao Qingjuan's in his past life. Wang Jinyang's heart was in turmoil. He had not mentioned this until now. On one hand, he had no time. On the other hand, he was hesitating. He did not even want to talk about the Skyfall land. He believed that if he said it, Fang Ping and the others would probably prepare to go to the Skyfall land. It was too dangerous. Back then, even the heavenly dog died in that place. Sigh. A sigh, so low that it could not be heard. Wang Jinyang looked in the direction of the Forbidden Sea again. This time, Fang Ping should be able to escape successfully, right? Minister Zhang and War King should be fine too. Just when these people were worried about Fang Ping killed a rank 9 powerhouse with 3 punches. No one knew him. He met him on the way. This time, the Nanjiang catacombs were very chaotic. Outland city lords, outland demons, outland people. There were powerhouses everywhere. Some powerhouses did not enter the bounded zones this time. Some had the mentality of waiting for a rabbit to come to them. Some were purely afraid, and some were prepared to help. At this moment, there were many rank 9 powerhouses in the Nanjiang catacombs and the Beihu catacombs. When Fang Ping met the other party and the other party spoke in the catacombs language, Fang Ping did not care which force the powerhouse was from. Once the Golden House appeared, he covered the other party and killed him in a few punches and kicks. Have those guys all run away? Fang Ping had already left the bounded zones for 700 to 800 li. Until now, he had not met Hua Yu and the others. Did they all run out of the Nanjiang catacombs? King Hua and the others seem to be staying at the Forbidden Sea. I don't think they have time to care about them, right? When he left, many true king powerhouses had escaped the Forbidden Sea. However, there were still some true kings who thought they were powerful and still stayed there. Who knew what they were waiting for? King Hua did not seem to have left. He was still waiting there. He did not know if he was preparing to join the battle or waiting to take advantage of the situation. As he was thinking, Fang Ping's eyes moved slightly. There was a royal city in front. Should he go and sweep it? Forget it. It's not appropriate to make a big commotion now. It would not be good to scare some guys away. Fang Ping muttered in his heart. Besides, there seemed to be true kings in the outer zones. There were no big benefits, and there was no need to target the royal city. Whether there were true kings in the outer zones was actually quite easy to judge. True kings were in the outer zones. The outer zones seemed to be thin, and the Tao was thin. When true kings were active here, the Tao would tremble. That kind of origin aura was hard to conceal. The Forbidden Sea, on the other hand, was not affected by these things. I'll look for Li. This guy still has a Palace Divine weapon. Fong Ping took care of the rank 9 that he had killed. He did not linger and hurried toward gigantic Willow City. If he met them on the way, if Ji Yao had Chi Huan Yu with her, then he would not make a move. As for the others, even if he met Chang Shanqi, Fong Ping was not afraid of him. He would see if he could kill him by surprise. As he flew through the flight step, Fong Ping turned back to look at the Forbidden Sea. Just as he turned back, a towering giant sword slashed through the sky again. The dragon transformation Celestial Emperor's roar echoed throughout the Nanjiang catacombs. Chang Rong Dai. When this sword slashed down, even if Fong Ping was 700 to 800 li away, even if the Forbidden Sea absorbed the overflowing aftermath, he still felt a strong sense of danger. Very strong. Fong Ping was a little shocked. These old antiques could not be underestimated. The feeling they gave him was even stronger than when old Zhang and the others erupted last time. Just as he was in shock, a giant spear appeared. In the next moment, the spear was cut in half by a sword. Rumble, heaven and earth were shaking. In the next second, a golden glow broke through the void like a meteor. The speed was so fast that it could not be seen by the naked eye. In a flash, it headed in the direction of Imperial Sea Mountain, fleeing toward the Forbidden Zone. Chang Rong, Heavenly Emperor, ran away. Dragon transformation, Celestial Emperor, risked his life. He was not willing to do so. As soon as he ran, Dragon transformation, Celestial Emperor behind him snorted angrily and shouted, "King Wu, this old man has broken his promise. I'll leave first. If I don't kill this beast today, I won't rest." Before his voice fell, Dragon transformation Celestial Emperor also turned into a meteor and quickly chased over there. The speed of the two meteors was extremely fast. In the blink of an eye, they disappeared into the outer zones and disappeared in front of Fong Ping and the others. Dragon transformation Celestial Emperor and Chang Rong, Heavenly Emperor, left. On this side, they had just left when a bull's roar came over from a distant direction, carrying an incomparably immense sense of pain. It roared violently. Dragon Emperor. The cat provoked this emperor first. The water-type giant bull was very furious. It was hooked by the cat before chasing after the cat. It was not like it took the initiative to provoke the cat. But now, the Dragon Emperor, these guys had an attitude of not stopping until one party was dead, killing it and the big crow until they were both incomparably miserable, with no place to vent their anger. So what if I provoked you? Water power. How dare you? Wanting to eat you. That's thinking highly of you. You actually still dare to resist. This bandit logic was said by that giant dragon. At this moment, everyone who heard it opened their mouths wide without exception. This logic was invincible, while the cat did not seem to have taken part in the battle. At this moment, it also said aggrievely, "This cat didn't eat you either. I just wanted to take a look. Even the big dog said that your meat will be old if I don't eat it. It's been so many years. Your meat definitely doesn't taste good. I don't even want to eat it anymore." Cat. This shrill roar was incomparably sorrowful and indignant. Old meat, not tasty anymore? So you guys have been eyeing this bull since a long time ago? No wonder you guys kept staring at this bull back then. The cat's voice came again. Stop roaring. Besides, you can cut off a bit of meat and have a taste. It's not like you'll die. The big dog also said before that you can raise it to eat. Cut it off and let it grow. Maybe it'll be more tender. Big bull, why don't you cut off a bit now? Or else the Dragon Emperor will stab you to death. Bastard. Water Power was furious. Asking him to cut off his meat? No way. While he was still clamoring, the cat said aggrievedly, "Cut off your meat. No one wants to kill you." The big dog said that raising a bull is to eat meat. You don't know how to plow, so you can only eat meat. Raising cats and dogs is for fun, not for eating meat. Big bull, why are you so angry? As soon as these words came out, it was really like thunder rolling in the sky, leaving everyone speechless. Even Fong Ping, who was speechless at the Dragon Emperor's bandit logic, suddenly felt a little dazed. There was nothing wrong with what the cat said. Raising a bull either did not work or ate meat. That was not a problem, right? It was okay to raise cats and dogs as pets, but who would raise a bull as a pet? Fong Ping shook his head. Crazy, crazy. He actually thought that what the old cat said made sense. Was there no hope for him now? While he was still thinking, the cat shouted again. Gong Juanzi, don't eat the big crow, stab it to death. The big crow always bullies me and even snatched my fishing spot. At this time, Gong Juanzi also laughed loudly and said, Good. Myriad Continents Island was originally used by the cat to fish. Everyone knows that in the past, there were also a few venerable emperors who had their eyes on Myriad Continents Island, who dared to be presumptuous. Thousands of years have passed, and a mere crow dared to snatch the cat's dojo. The cat had no dojo, but it liked fishing. More than 2,000 years ago, it had been fishing there. At that time, even if there were many good things on Myriad Continents Island, there were no venerable emperors to fight for territory. Now, a big crow also dared to snatch the cat's territory. Gong Zhuanzi's mentality erupted, tearing through the void, its power soaring to the sky. This cat is so aggrieved. At this moment, Fong Ping could not care less about the cat, but he still did not know whether to laugh or cry. Look at how aggrieved it was. It raised a cow, but didn't feed it. The meat was already old. This was the fault of water power, right? The big crow snatched its fishing spot, forcibly occupied its territory. This was the big crow's fault, right? It sounded like there was nothing wrong, but no matter how he thought about it, something was not right. This cat, I'll keep a close eye on it later, Fong Ping muttered. He continued to speed up, sprinting toward gigantic Willow City. The battle was probably going to end soon. A few venerable emperors had run away. Now the cat's side might be ending soon. At this time, if old Zhang did not want to continue fighting, it should be over. It depended on whether old Zhang had the confidence to kill an emperor this time. Just as Fong Ping was thinking about this, Zhang Tao also looked around, panting heavily, a little weak. He had overestimated himself. 3 venerable emperors attacked. He could not gain the upper hand. Although Grand Peace was almost disintegrated by him, he was also heavily injured. On the other side, Warlord was also no match for the skinny old man. Gong Yuzi and Life King were both fishing in troubled waters. They did not put in any effort at all. They made a threat. Motherf asterisk Kerr. Is there no other way? Zhang Tao cursed in his heart. This person should not be too arrogant. This was embarrassing. Fighting 1 against 3, very strong. In the past, he also felt that he was very strong. However, unquestionable Jin fought 1 against 10 back then, killing many of them. In this way, he was much stronger than him. I thought I could fight emperors. Now I realize I'm far from it. I thought I could do what unquestionable Jin could do, but now it seems that I'm still not as good as... There's still a long way to go. Zhang Tao sighed in his heart. He was not even as good as a cat. Look at that cat. It had forced an venerable emperor to start cutting off his flesh to survive. Fong Ping could not sense it, and water power did not continue to clamor, but old Zhang sensed it. That cow had really started to cut off its flesh. That cat had also started to pick up the meat happily. Water power did not say it clearly, but when it was beaten by Dragon Emperor until its flesh was torn apart, the flesh fell off piece by piece. The cat despised the bloody mess, but when it turned its head, there was meat without blood falling off. If this was not admitting defeat, what was it? I can't be worse than a cat now, can I? Zhang Tao laughed at himself. This is what he said. This battle had come to this point. There was actually no need to continue killing. However, Zhang Tao knew that he could not stop. In this battle, if Heavenly Emperor Tai and did not die, Sino Nation would have one more powerful enemy, and the other Heavenly Emperors of Beyond Avalon would also be tempted. If he did not kill, how could he intimidate them? If he did not make a move, it would be fine. If he intimidated the other party, then it would be fine. However, if he made a move and said some harsh words, but did not kill the other party, the effect would be completely different. Even Zhang Tao, fighting 1 against 3 today, still could not intimidate the powerhouses around. Humans have too few emperor-level powerhouses. Zhang Tao sighed in his heart. Now many people were watching. Even some old antiques were judging the situation. They were all waiting for Zhang Tao's performance, whether he would rope them in or oppose them. A powerhouse who could kill venerable emperors and a powerhouse who could barely defeat venerable emperors were completely different. Forget it. I'll go all out today. Zhang Tao made up his mind. It might be better to kill Heavenly Emperor, even if he was seriously injured. Otherwise, if he killed an emperor-level powerhouse, people would be alarmed, and some powerhouses might even secretly join forces to deal with him. Then let's go all out. Zhang Tao's face suddenly darkened. He threw out his bamboo whip again, this time toward the middle-aged man who was helping him. He also threw the crystal book in his hand toward the Water Empress. Both of them sneered. Do you really think this can stop us? But Zhang Tao did not care. He growled and quickly charged toward the Heavenly Emperor Taiyan. Heavenly Emperor Tai and was a little annoyed, but he was not as afraid as before. He shouted angrily, Zhang Tao, you can't kill me. If we continue fighting, I will kill you, and the human world will be destroyed sooner or later. On both sides, the Water Empress also said coldly, Zhang Tao, you can be called the strongest powerhouse in the human world. You want to kill Heavenly Emperor in front of us? You? Just as she said that, in the next moment, a wave of exclamations suddenly came from all directions. At this moment, the bamboo whip and the crystal book were originally alone. But at this moment, the bamboo whip was suddenly in someone's hand. The crystal book was also in someone's hand. 3 people. At this moment, 3 Zhang Tao appeared in the sky above the Forbidden Sea. You are crazy. Damn it. Help me. The last shout came from the Heavenly Emperor Taiyan. When the 3 Zhang Tao appeared, he was terrified, cutting spiritual sense. Zhang Tao had cut his spiritual sense into 3 parts. Originally, the bamboo whip and the crystal book were not enough to stop the 2 venerable sovereigns. They could break them in a moment and come to help. But at this moment, Zhang Tao cut his spiritual sense into 2 doppelgangers. The 2 doppelgangers held 2 manifestations of the Great Way in their hands, and their combat capability became several times stronger instantly. In this way, even if the 2 venerable sovereigns wanted to kill the doppelgangers, they could not do it in a short time. But once the doppelgangers cut the doppelgangers, they would disappear sooner or later. Zhang Tao wanted to kill him at the price of losing his strength forever. Help me. The Heavenly Emperor Tai and was extremely terrified. He turned around and ran away immediately. Zhang Tao was extremely calm at this moment. He did not care about the 2 venerable sovereigns anymore. He sighed softly and said, I said I will kill you, so I will. I'm just that stubborn. As soon as he finished speaking, a blood-red long saber appeared and cut the Forbidden Sea into pieces. The whole Forbidden Sea was dyed red when the saber was drawn. In front of him, the escaping Heavenly Emperor Tai and screamed miserably. At this moment, he was a little regretful. Maybe I shouldn't have come out at this moment. Maybe I should have left earlier. Maybe I should have been like Guan Ming and the others, lying low first and just sent some people to the Heaven Department, but there was no medicine for regret in this world. Zhang Tao, I will wait for you. Cut my spiritual sense, and my strength will fall. I will wait for you to die together. With this extremely resentful voice, the long saber disappeared. In front of him, the Forbidden Sea was split open, and a crack of hundreds of miles was cut open. The figure of the Heavenly Emperor Tai and also completely disappeared in the void. Rumble, a venerable sovereign died. At this moment, the Great Way collapsed. Different from the death of a real king, at this moment, a 10,000-meter-long Great Way suddenly appeared in the sky above the Forbidden Sea, and then it collapsed instantly. A 10,000-meter-long crack formed in the sky above the Forbidden Sea and didn't heal for a long time. Blood rain poured down in buckets. At this moment, The whole land was raining. Blood rain. A venerable sovereign died. Zhang Tao's face was pale, and golden blood kept gushing out of his mouth. But he was still arrogant and didn't attack again. He turned his head to look at the two venerable sovereigns. They were fighting with their doppelgangers at this moment, and their doppelgangers were about to disappear. After a long time, the female sovereign smashed the crystal book with one blow, but she didn't attack again. Instead, she looked at Zhang Tao and said in a complicated tone for the first time, "Human King, is it worth it? Is it worth it?" In order to kill the heavenly emperor Tide, and Zhang Tao lost at least 40% or even 50% of his spiritual force. Is it worth it to pay such a price? The blood rain was still pouring down. At this moment, Gong Yuzi and the War King all stopped fighting. A venerable sovereign died. Zhang Tao was also seriously injured. In the past 1,000 years, another venerable sovereign died, but it wasn't as threatening as the unquestionable sword. At this moment, everyone had an indescribable feeling. In order to kill the heavenly Emperor Tai, and King Wu's strength had dropped a lot. From a top martial emperor strongman before, he was probably no different from an ordinary martial emperor now. What was the price for? Did heavenly Emperor Tai and have to be killed? Humans can't be bullied. As long as I, Zhang Tao, am alive, I will fight for the martial way. An indifferent voice reverberated in the forbidden sea, reverberating in this world. Fight for the martial way. Fight for what? Fight for life. Fight for dignity. Fight for the leadership of the neo-martial arts. Chapter 9:21. Silence. Dead silence. At this moment, Zhang Tao's face was pale, and he was no longer tall. He really looked like a weak scholar. His words were calm and not domineering in the slightest. However, at this moment, all the experts present, the experts in the dark and the experts who heard his words, without exception, were all emotional. Neo-warrior. Maybe from now on, there would be one more Neo-warrior. Originally, in their eyes, it was just a few decades. Could this be considered an era? The era of gods and demons had lasted for countless years. In the era of sex, the emperors rose. In the era of suppressing stars, the suppressing heavenly king alone dominated the three realms. Neo-warrior. What was Neo-warrior? They had no experts, no background, no resources, nothing at all. They were just a bunch of commoners who looked like peasants. But now, among these nonentities, there was a figure like Zhang Tao. With such a leader, Neo-warrior could be called an era. A new era. Today, Zhang Tao was the most outstanding. Even Grey Cat couldn't suppress his limelight. It was not surprising that these old antiques knew something about Grey Cat. But the leader of Neo-warrior, the human emperor, no, maybe it was more appropriate to call him human king, shocked everyone. There were experts who could kill emperor-level experts. But he knew the road ahead was bumpy, and he still insisted on going his own way. In people's eyes, this was the road to death. If Human King didn't kill Taiyin and maintained his current combat strength, he might be able to fight for it in a few years. Stay dormant. If Zhang Tao chose to stay dormant, no one would believe that he had the strength he had now. No one would be afraid of him, and no one would care too much about him. Just like Li Zhu. Li Zhu chose this path. But Zhang Tao chose a completely different path. He chose to stand up. As long as he was alive, humans would be strong. Whoever dared to bully humans would be killed. Even if he had to be the enemy of the whole world, so what? Even if his strength was greatly damaged, so what? Who dared to kill him at this moment? He still had the strength to fight. With his courage, he might be able to kill a venerable emperor in the end. Even if he couldn't, he would seriously injure some people and miss the next big change. The female venerable emperor's question, is it worth it, had too many meanings. Was it worth to give up the imperial path that he might get to protect a group of nonentities? Was it worth it to lose a great deal of strength for a group of ants and possibly not be able to avoid the great calamity in the future? The rain of blood poured down in torrents. Over the past 1,000 years, another venerable sovereign had died. As soon as the great peace heavenly emperor left the mountain, he died on the spot. The deathly silence lasted for a while. The skinny old man glanced at Zhang Tao and suddenly chuckled. Martial King. Human King, interesting. I've underestimated you. Never mind. I won't compete with you any longer today. In these 1,000 years, you're the second expert after unquestionable Jian that obtained my acknowledgement. In the past 1,000 years, in this world, only the unquestionable sword and Zhang Tao were acknowledged by this ancient venerable sovereign. The recognition of strength, the recognition of status, no longer looking down on others, no longer arrogant. Such an expert was worthy of attention. Having said that, the thin old man smiled faintly again and said, however, King Wu, if Fong Ping is the real unquestionable sword, King Wu, please think thrice. This person might not be more reliable than us. After saying that, the old man tore through the air and disappeared in the blink of an eye. As soon as he left, the female venerable sovereign said calmly, we are also fighting for our lives. Beg for life. Unquestionable, Jian. This person might not beg for life, but his desire to die is even stronger. King Wu, if you want to protect the human world, perhaps the person you should kill the most is this person. Having said that, I don't want to say more. King Wu, think about it yourself. As soon as she finished speaking, the female venerable sovereign also disappeared quietly. The other person did not say a word. He glanced at the place where Great Peace Heavenly Emperor died, a faint smile on his face, leaving behind an indecipherable laugh, and drifted away. Fong Ping belonged to King Wu, to this emperor-slaying powerhouse, to this powerhouse who did not hesitate to fight to the death, to fight until the end. As for whether Fong Ping was unquestionable Jian, Zhang Tao would think about it himself. If he was, saving Fong Ping might not be a good thing. These people left one after another, leaving only Life King and a few others here. At this moment, some of the true king powerhouses in the dark also started to leave. However, the news about King Wu's strength being damaged would also spread quickly. Although this person had killed a great emperor today, with his strength damaged, there might be some trouble in the future. However, the trouble would not be too big. Before the big change happened, probably no one would be willing to fight with him to the death. At this moment, Zhang Tao could almost be compared to Heavenly Emperor Dragon Transformation, who was about to reach the end of his lifespan. Although Life King was alone now, he was not too worried. Looking at Zhang Tao, Life King suddenly smiled and said, why don't you and I work together once, and I will help you recover your strength? Zhang Tao said lightly, work together? You are not qualified. Life King chuckled and said, maybe. However, do you really think that the second king will only attack Godland? You are wrong. King Wu, the second king, is stronger than you think, and more calculative. Now, I also know some of the top secrets of the Demon Emperor period. Back then, a great war broke out in the bounded domain. Demon Emperor remnants like the second king were originally public enemies, but in the end, it was others who suffered heavy casualties, and the second king fell into a deep sleep. Do you really think it is a coincidence? Zhang Tao said nothing. Life King chuckled and was about to leave. Then his expression changed, and he suddenly looked at 9 Southern Region. Zhang Tao was previously calm, but at this moment, his expression changed slightly, and the corner of his mouth twitched. You are really good. Rumble. An earth-shaking roar resounded. On this day, 9 Southern Region was full of disasters. The blood rain was still there, and a royal city exploded. Not long after Great Peace Emperor fell, the royal city exploded. For a moment, Zhang Tao did not know what to say. Who else would do this other than Fong Ping? When did this brat go to gigantic Willow City? He guessed that Fong Ping took advantage of the chaos to run away, and thought that he had gone back. He did not expect that this brat went to do something big again. Zhang Tao laughed bitterly in his heart. That's enough. Did he really think that humans were invincible? The reason why human powerhouses nowadays were feared was because everyone showed an attitude of not caring about their lives, and that they would fight you to the end at any time. This was what made all parties afraid. Those old antiques all cherished their lives. It was the same here in the catacombs. It was a pity that fate was built on the present. When the chaos started, these people could cultivate to this level, and they were not really afraid of death anymore. When that time came, they would probably be people who did not care about their lives anymore. Moreover, if they were too aggressive, humans would also become the target of public criticism. Enough is enough. Kid, it's fine that you blew up a royal city, but today you've destroyed 9 southern territory. Next, the catacombs powerhouses will fight you to the end, Zhang Tao thought in his heart. He did not say anything, as if he did not care. Life King glanced at him, his expression indifferent. Without saying anything, he broke through the air and left. In the blink of an eye, Life King had traveled 1,000 miles. He grabbed 2 people in his hands and broke through the air, heading straight for Mount Imperial Sea. He did not care about what was happening here anymore. Zhang Tao stayed where he was, not caring about what was happening over there. Blowing up a royal city was not big, but it was not small either. He was here, and he had just slaughtered an emperor. Now that everyone was afraid, no true king would get involved in this matter. The power of slaughtering an emperor could last for a while. Zhang Tao did not care about Fang Ping. He looked at Gong Yuzi, a faint smile on his face. Thank you, Senior, for your help today. No problem. Gong Yuzi's expression did not change. As for what he was thinking, no one knew. If I may be so bold, Senior, have you seen the unquestionable sword in recent years? No. Then I'll ask again. Back then, was that monster plant a gift from you, Senior? Gong Yuzi thought for a moment, saying slowly, the monster plant came from the Emperor's tomb. Back then, it was a coincidence and also your fate. It can't be considered as a gift from me. No matter what, Zhang Tao still has to thank Senior for your guidance. If not for that monster plant, Zhang Tao would not be who he is today. This is a gift from you. Zhang Tao bowed slightly, but Gong Yuzi avoided him. I don't deserve it. Martial kings don't have to do this. He could accept Zhang Tao's bow, but not a kingman's bow, and not a powerhouse who slaughtered an emperor. This is the first reason. Secondly, Senior, you sent War King out of seclusion in the past. War King has protected mankind for 300 years. This is a great favor to mankind. I thank you on behalf of mankind for your help. Zhang Tao bowed again, and Gong Yuzi avoided him again. In addition, Senior, you saved Fang Ping today. Fang Ping is mankind's most outstanding prodigy, the hope of the future. You helped him just now. This is the third favor. Zhang Tao bowed again. 3 times. 3 times, Gong Yuzi avoided him. At this moment, War King stood aside, not saying a word. Seeing that Gong Yuzi avoided him 3 times, Zhang Tao chuckled and said, I will remember these 3 favors. Humans may be weak, but we also know that a drop of water should be returned with a gushing spring. Neo-martial artists may be devils, but they are not devils. Martial artists of my generation are quick to repay kindness and hatred. Kindness must be repaid. Hatred must be avenged. I will be arrogant today and promise on behalf of the neo-martial artists that I will repay with my life the venerable emperor who sent powerhouses out of seclusion to protect mankind's boundaries in the past. Senior, you helped me once 3 favors. If the neo-martial artists repay with 2 lives, I will also repay the favor. Zhang Tao's words were clear, and he had calculated everything clearly. It was not Zhang Tao's character to say it so bluntly after receiving a favor. However, this time Zhang Tao said it very clearly. Beside him, War King's expression changed. He looked at Gong Yuzi and suddenly let out a long sigh. Kindness is kindness. Hatred is hatred. This was what Zhang Tao meant. I remember kindness and hatred. 3 lives. Zhang Tao was very arrogant. Although he did not say it out loud, his meaning was clear. Neo-martial artists, spare Gong Yuzi 3 times and spare his life 3 times. After 3 times, he would get his revenge. It was the same in other boundaries. Zhang Tao did not remember the kindness of these venerable emperors. He remembered the kindness of the top experts in Star Town. He even remembered the Yang family's old ancestor, because these people had protected mankind for 300 years. Without them, there might be others. Maybe the heaven-subduing king would still be alive. However, all of this was hypothetical. Zhang Tao only knew that the 13 top experts in Startown had made great contributions to China today. On the other side, Gong Yuzi's expression was complicated. He was no longer indifferent. After a long time, he sighed and said, "In the past, I'm afraid that no one would have thought that the human martial artists would have such a day. The emperors, and all living beings, but not the human martial artists. In fact, it was all a coincidence. No one had ever schemed against the human martial artists, because they were ants. As for being implicated and killed, those were the lives of ants. The powerhouses would not care about them. No one had thought that the human world could become a force today. As for the heaven-subduing king, he was not considered a powerhouse of the human world. Those who had memories of the peak of suppressing Star City couldn't be considered as such, but those who didn't might be able to. These people no longer schemed. At this moment, they had completely become people of the human world. With King Wu as the leader and several top experts as support, although the human world was weak, it could not be underestimated. It had become a force that could not be ignored. I know. Zhang Tao smiled and said, "It doesn't matter if it was intentional or not. But billions of lives are not insignificant. Therefore, the new martial artists will fight and struggle to the end, to the day of complete extinction. We are not willing, so we have the new martial artists. Our geniuses are emerging one by one. Senior, you can see it. I don't care who they were in the past. I only know that today they are who they are, the new martial artists that I, Zhang Tao, am proud of. New martial artists. Zhang Tao. At this moment, Gong Yuzi murmured softly, "I'll remember it. I'll remember this era that belongs to you, the era that belongs to the new martial artists." At this moment, the image of unquestionable Jian flashed in his mind. It gradually overlapped with Zhang Tao, but in the blink of an eye, it separated. For a moment, Gong Yuzi suddenly felt that the disciple that he was proud of for his whole life might not be as good as Zhang Tao. It was not in terms of strength, but something else. No one said that the era of sex belonged to unquestionable Jian, even if he had killed many great emperors. No one said that unquestionable Jian was qualified to represent an era, because he really did not have that qualification. Being a powerhouse did not mean everything. And Zhang Tao had that qualification, even if he was so weak at the moment, even if the new martial artists were still not strong enough. Zhang Tao smiled and did not say anything else. With a wave of his hand, dozens of monster corpses floating in the sea fell into his hand and disappeared in the blink of an eye. Zhang Tao did it very naturally. With a chuckle, he disappeared into the sky. At this moment, Gong Yuzi did not look down on him, only an indescribable feeling. A group of rank 8 and rank 9 monster corpses thrown in front of him. He did not look at them. There were so many powerhouses on the scene just now. Even the skinny old man and these monsters were all his subordinates. He did not look at them. A certain powerhouse who had just killed a great emperor was like a merchant in the market. Before leaving, he actually took all of them away. Was he petty? No. Carefree. What a martial king. What a new martial artist. Gong Yuzi suddenly laughed and disappeared into the forbidden sea in the blink of an eye. However, a voice came. Jiang Tianming. Today, I'll expel you from Purple Cap Mountain. You have no memories, no unique skills of Purple Cap Mountain, and you are not a disciple of Purple Cap Mountain. You are a martial artist of the human world. From now on, your fate is in your hands. The warlord did not scold anymore. With a complicated look, he said, "I am a martial artist of the human world, and you are the sect leader. Gong Yuzi, when we meet tomorrow, I won't show mercy." Ha ha, that's for the best. With that, Gong Yuzi completely disappeared into the vast sea. No one knew where he went. The warlord stood where he was for a moment, then disappeared in the blink of an eye. Too many mysteries had been uncovered today. Too many karma had been severed today. It was also today that the new martial artists officially entered the eyes of everyone. From now on, the new martial artists were no longer ants under the protection of the heaven-suppressing king. They had a leader, Martial King Zhang Tao. The emperor-level battle was about to come to an end. The reason why it was about to end was because the cat side was not over yet. However, it would be over soon. Shui Li left behind thousands of kilograms of meat and escaped. The Dragon Emperor wanted to chase after him, but the cat called for him to stop. According to the cat's words, you can't kill it. The cow has to be raised for meat. You can't kill the cow. He had been watching that cow for a long time. The big dog had said a long time ago that it wanted to raise it for food. Unfortunately, the cow had an owner at that time, and the big dog was no match for it. It could only watch it for now and wait for the day to come. Now that the big dog was gone, the cat felt that it was still necessary to stick to the plan of raising the big dog. The cow gave birth to calves, and the calves gave birth to calves. There was no end to the number of descendants. He could eat beef often in the future. If Shui Li ran away, the big crow would be in trouble. The cat felt that the crow's meat was unpalatable. In addition, the other party had occupied its fishing spot and bullied it. It was very angry and asked Gong Yuzi and the others to continue beating it. The great crow was beaten until all its feathers fell off. Seeing that the great crow was about to die, the green cat shouted for it to stop. The Dragon Emperor and the others were still a little weaker. The big crow was also a Dvarch of full strength. If it really fought to the death, it might not be able to escape unscathed. The big crow ran away. Not long after Zhang Tao and the others left, the Dvarch battle for food also came to an end. The few of them were actually not in the mood to chase after the big crow. Gong Yuzi's figure was ethereal as he looked into the distance. That was where great peace had died. After looking for a while, Gong Yuzi sighed and said, "New Marshal Zhang Tao. This person passed by Quokang Mountain a few days ago. I knew that he was extraordinary." Nonsense. At this time, the burly old man from the forbidden area laughed and said, "To be able to kill a Dvarch, he is naturally extraordinary. Beihai, you are smart. If you provoke this person, I think the one who died a few days ago would have been you." As he said that, the old man laughed and said, "Not necessarily. With Dvarch Song here, you might not die." In the past, the cat and unquestionable Jian were on good terms, and it was also on good terms with War Monarch. However, the place he chose to sleep was not Purple Cap Mountain, but Quokang Mountain. The cat said that it was for food, but that was naturally not the only reason. According to the situation at that time, it was most suitable for it to stay on Purple Cap Mountain. However, the cat went to Quokang Mountain. The old man felt that because of this, Gong Yuzi would not die so easily. The Dragon Emperor also shrunk his body and suddenly turned into human form. He was also extremely burly. When he heard that, he smiled and said, "That's true. With the cat around, Beihai will not die so easily. However, the cat is gone now. It's hard to say." The cat blinked its big eyes innocently. "Why are you talking about me? I don't fight. I don't care if the fake human emperor wants to kill Gong Yuzi." With the beef in hand, the cat was not willing to stay for long. It continued riding on Jiao and patted Jiao. It said, "Gong Yuzi, Dragon Emperor, I'm leaving. Do you want some beef? Can I share some with you?" It said to share, but it had no intention of sharing at all. The Dragon Emperor and the others laughed. The old man did not know whether to laugh or cry. He did not care about its you and said, "Dvarch Song, try to give away the divine artifacts in your hands. Now is not the same as before. Everyone is going crazy. You have many divine artifacts. Celestial Dvarch has fallen, and the few venerable emperors who are on good terms with you are either dead or crippled. Now, only the few of us still have the strength to fight. In the past, when the heavenly bell appeared, powerhouses gathered. Now," the old man said with some sadness, "when the heavenly bell appeared, only we came. We are also old and crippled. We can't protect you anymore. Dvarch Song, be more careful. There are probably many people who have designs on you now." When these words came out, the Dragon Emperor and Gong Yuzi were silent. They were old and crippled. They were not as good as they were in the past. After the Heaven Realm was destroyed, the Celestial Dvarch protected the cat. Not long after the Celestial Dvarch died, the various great Thearchs were still in hibernation. The cat found Quoking Mountain and found the unquestionable sword. Many powerhouses were still alive in the past. But in the Battle of the King's battlefield, some of the powerhouses who were on good terms with the cat also died. Now, they came out again with the Heavenly Bell. Only 3 powerhouses came. Others were shocked, but these people were sad. The most ancient dragon emperor even felt some regret. There was no longer the grand occasion of besieging Extreme Tao Heavenly Emperor back then. Extreme Tao Heavenly Emperor. In the past, when the Heavenly Bell appeared, hundreds of great thearchs gathered. They were so arrogant. They could fight Celestial Emperor Batian too. Of course, that was also because Celestial Emperor Batian was easy to talk to. At most, he would be seriously injured. He would not kill them. But today, fighting Celestial Emperor Batian? Ridiculous. They were sad, but the cat did not mind. It said with a smile on its face, "It's fine. I'll just keep the fishing rod. The rest can be lent to others." But this cat isn't afraid. The cat's big tail swayed and said with a smile, "This cat got to know many, many powerful people again. I even found Big Dog's descendant, Puppy." As the cat said, it said somewhat dispiritedly, "But Puppy is too weak." As it said, its big tail started to slap Jiao. Gong Zhuanzi and the rest were stunned and looked at Jiao. This was Celestial Emperor's descendant? It did not look like it. The cat recognized the wrong person, right? The Dragon Emperor also said strangely, "Celestial Emperor's descendant? Why is it so weak?" Jiao buried its head in the sea. "Weak my ass. I'm rank 9. I'm not weak. I'm still a child, and I'm already very strong, okay?" The Dragon Emperor and the rest observed for a while and said no more. The descendant was probably not a purebred. Who knew how many generations it had been? If it was a direct descendant, then it was worth paying attention. They looked at Feng Yuan and frowned slightly. Too weak. So weak that they could probably kill her with a breath. Sky Emperor, this is... Oh, brushing her fur. The cat said matter-of-factly, "My cat palace is about to be built. When it's done, she'll be the brushing cat general." Cough, cough. They all coughed softly. Feng Yuan looked gloomy. Brushing cat general? What kind of name was that? Seeing that the cat did not want to say more, they did not ask. Brushers. Brushers usually had someone backing them up. They knew this very well. War King used to brush. An unquestionable sword was his backer. Before War King, there was actually another. However, that was before the heavenly realm was destroyed. It was too long ago, so they did not talk about it. Now that such a weakling had become the cat's brusher, could this child be a descendant of King Wu? They looked at each other, but the cat ignored them. It patted Jiao and said, "Let's go, Puppy. Let's go home and eat beef." As for the beef, they forgot about it. They did not say they wanted it, so they did not want it. Jiao began to swim towards the shore. Gong Zhuanzi and the other 2 watched the cat leave. After a long time, the Dragon Emperor sighed again. Sky Emperor is still like this. He should have opened his own path long ago. With his foundation, it would be easy for him to become a venerable sovereign. Why did he have to do this? Gong Zhuanzi sighed. That's his personality. That's good. If not, he might have ended up like a Celestial Emperor. He thought for a while and asked in a low voice, "Sky Emperor, does he still have guardians?" They looked at each other, and the Dragon Emperor shook his head. "I don't know. I'm afraid even Sky Emperor doesn't know." After the heavenly realm was destroyed, he never saw those people again. Sigh. After a sigh, they did not say anything else and left. They had no intention of gathering. P.S. I really caught a cold. My nose is running, and I'm a little dizzy. Chapter 9:22. Gigantic Willow City. Fong Ping's face was covered in dirt, and he sat on the ground in a daze. Why did it explode? I didn't want to blow it up. He just wanted to rob Li Yi. In the end, Li Yi was too timid. The moment Fong Ping's head popped up, this fellow did not even recognize Fong Ping. Without a word, he burrowed into the ground. Fong Ping felt that he could not let him get away, so he gave chase. In the end, that grandson Li Yi actually threw out so much life essence. What do you mean? Fong Ping was still in a daze. He had just casually ignited it, and then gigantic Willow City was gone with a bang. Fong Ping sat in the giant pit on the ground, daydreaming. Up in the sky, Li Yi's face was pale as she was held in Hua Qidao's hand. Gigantic Willow City Lord, on the other hand, was livid. Standing in the air with a golden willow tree, he stared at Fong Ping below, his expression turning uglier and uglier. It exploded. It exploded just like that. Last time, Fong Ping almost blew up gigantic Willow City. In order to prevent Fong Ping from coming again, Willow Deity did not even leave behind the Fountain of Life. It used all of it to prevent Fong Ping from detonating it. In the end, it really blew up this time. The huge King City disappeared in an instant. The entire city was destroyed. Apart from the 3 humans and 1 demon in the air, there was no one left. Fong Ping, is this how you, a revived martial artist, do things? Destroy the entire city? The gigantic Willow City Lord roared angrily. All the people in the city were gone. Fong Ping was also innocent. His face was covered in dirt. He stood up, picked his ears, and said, "It's a misunderstanding. A misunderstanding. I don't want to kill everyone in your city. I don't do that now. I usually only rob mines. Li Yi, what's wrong with you? Why did you blow up the city?" Although Fong Ping did not mind being called a devil, he was innocent this time. "I didn't want to blow it up." In the air, Li Yi still had a lingering fear. "I almost died. If Hua Qidao had not discovered it in time and grabbed him, he would have been killed by the explosion. The explosion happened too quickly this time. Some rank 8s in the city were killed. Although he was also at the 8th rank, he was at the core at that time and was really only 1 step away from death." Li did not say anything. As for the life essence she had just thrown out, Li didn't want to say anything. Father had said that if he encountered Fong Ping and was no match for him, his life would be in danger. So he had tossed out some treasures to attract Fong Ping's attention. This was what Father said. He believed it. Therefore, as soon as he sensed the danger, he threw out a large amount of life essence without hesitation. Who would have thought that Fong Ping, who was used to blowing things up, would just casually explode them? How could he say such a thing? The way the gigantic Willow City Lord looked at him was a little unfriendly. But Li Yi was really hard to explain. Could he say that he was afraid of death? Fong Ping appeared and disappeared mysteriously. He had seen it before. Even someone as arrogant as Fong Extermination died just like that. At this moment, Li Yi did not want to answer Fong Ping's question. She said darkly, "Fong Ping, I came to the Outland this time with no intention of becoming your enemy. Why did you attack me?" Fong Ping grinned. "If you want to kill, then kill. We're enemies. We're mortal enemies. The hatred of our race is absolutely irreconcilable." "Li Yi, have you lost your mind?" Li Yi's words almost made him laugh. "Are you an idiot? Those from the Destiny Royal Court weren't so bad, but those from the Skyplant's Royal Court would fight to the death with the humans. That was the norm. As for the upper echelons, the Absolute Peak realm, that was because it was not convenient to kill them on sight. The impact was too great. But under the Absolute Peak, was it not normal to kill on sight? It's a pity that Li Zhu gave birth to a foolish son like you." Fong Ping chuckled. "Now I'm a little suspicious. Are you really Li Zhu's son? Don't tell me he carried you here and used you as a chess piece to attract the attention of outsiders. In fact, he has a biological son, like Hua Qidao?" Fong Ping rubbed his chin and muttered, "It's possible. Hua Qi said that he was the son of Commander Zhuo. Now that Commander Zhuo is dead, it's possible that your father killed him to silence him. He purposely placed his real son in Commander Zhuo's care. Now that Commander Zhuo is dead, his son won't attract much attention." Without waiting for them to speak, Fong Ping shouted, "Let me finish. Li Yi, did your old man value Hua Qidao more? Did he let you lie low and let Hua Qidao gain more experience? Did he let him taste all the hardships of the world and gave him countless opportunities? You lived a life of luxury while he lived a life of slaughter and blood? That's right. That's what a father would do for his child. Now I'm sure that Hua Qidao is Li Zhu's biological son." You Li Yi's lungs almost exploded in anger. Fong Ping's words were not false at all, but he would not believe it. Did Fong Ping really think he was an idiot? Hua Qidao's expression was also ugly. He said coldly, Fong Ping, I didn't expect you to dare come here. Do you think I can't do anything to you? There were 3 rank 9 martial artists here. Fong Ping had been discovered, but he did not escape. Instead, he was arguing with them. Hua Qidao felt vaguely uneasy. However, in his impression, Fong Ping's strength was still at the time of the battle in Magic City's catacombs. Actually, it was only a few days. At that time, Fong Ping could fight martial artists around level 2 origin path. He knew this. It was not that the royal court did not collect information. However, Hua Qidao, had entered level 4 origin and was about to reach level 5. Gigantic Willow City Lord was also an origin powerhouse, and not a weak one at that. He was level 5 origin, or else he would not have been qualified to fight Wu Chuan. Gigantic Willow City's Willow Tree was also an origin powerhouse. Where did Fong Ping get the confidence to say all this to 3 origin powerhouses? However, at that moment, the sky was raining blood. Hua Qidao was also on high alert. A powerhouse had fallen. The voice from the Forbidden Sea also came faintly. He knew that King Wu had killed an Emperor-level powerhouse. Fong Ping was counting on King Wu. Fong Ping was too lazy to say more. He looked in the direction of the Forbidden Sea and murmured, It's over. So soon, looks like I have to go too. The Battle of Emperors had ended. If he did not leave now, he might attract some trouble. King Wu killed an emperor. This time, the Demon King, only killed some small fries. The only powerful one was that worm from Xianlong's family. I think killing Li Zhu's son was not bad. Fong Ping smiled brightly, but Hua Qidao's expression changed wildly. Who did Fong Ping kill? Xianxiu? How could it be? Xianxiu was a level 9 origin powerhouse, not far from level 10, not far from being a true king. Fong Ping killed it? Before he could react, Fong Ping's speed was so fast that it was invisible. In the blink of an eye, he appeared in front of him and punched his head. Hua Qidao roared and retreated. The 2 gigantic Willow City rank 9s beside him also attacked. Fong Ping punched and blew up the branches of the willow tree. With a side kick, the gigantic Willow City Lord flew back dozens of meters. In the next moment, like an arrow, he chased after Hua Qidao, laughing. Li Zhu's son, I will kill you today. At the side, Li Yi was stunned. At this moment, he really began to doubt himself. At this time, was Fong Ping joking or serious? When he said he wanted to kill Li Zhu's son, Li Yi thought he was going to kill him. Who would have thought that Fong Ping would attack Hua Qidao with an attitude that would kill him? Fong Ping did not care what he thought. He just said it casually. As for killing Hua Qidao, nonsense. Hua Qidao should be the strongest among these people. Of course, he had to kill the powerhouse first. With Li Yi's rank 8 strength, could he escape? Bang! Hua Qidao still could not avoid it. Fong Ping kicked his left arm. The flesh of his left arm exploded directly, leaving only the golden bone. Hua Qidao's expression changed dramatically. The divine weapon appeared in his hand. He shouted angrily, You're not Fong Ping? As soon as the words came out, he knew that he was thinking too much. But how could Fong Ping be so strong? This combat strength was probably the strength of a rank 7 or rank 8 origin. Fong Ping grinned. Of course I am Fong Ping. Li Qidao, weren't you very arrogant that day in Skyplant City? Come on, continue to be arrogant. Talking did not delay Fong Ping's movements. Without the divine weapon, Fong Ping's combat strength was not affected much. He did not use 2 complicated combat techniques. He did not know complicated ones. He just used basic fist techniques, basic leg techniques, and some puncture kicks. Every punch and kick was a weapon to kill the enemy. The 3 rank 9s did not need to say much. At this moment, they surrounded Fong Ping and gave it their all. All of them were extremely serious. The fact that Fong Ping possessed such strength was beyond their expectations. All 3 of them were Origin Dao, and their combat strength was not bad. Fong Ping fought with them for a while. Although Hua Chidao's golden bones were broken, he was also hit by the willow tree a few times and tumbled a few times. He had been fighting until now. Although he could recover, he was actually an arrow at the end of its flight. Many times, a battle was not just about having enough vitality. His essence, chi, and spirit were exhausted. He was not as strong as when he killed the black dragon. His current combat strength was also not as strong as before. It would be difficult to take them down in a short time. Even so, Fong Ping was still arrogant. He smiled lightly. There will be powerhouses coming to help Nanjiang City very soon. Now that a martial king has killed an emperor, a true king cannot enter the realm. This has become an iron law again. Don't expect anyone to come to save you. Unless Li Zhu comes personally. Otherwise, who would dare to risk their lives to save you? The few of them did not say a word. Hua Qidao was silent for a moment. Suddenly, he shouted, "Your Highness, you leave first." Leave? Fong Ping kicked a hole in the willow tree's trunk. He laughed. "Where do you think you're going?" "Li, I'm too lazy to kill you. Come, hand over your storage ring, divine weapon, and that palace. I'll spare your life." Things like divine weapons were too difficult to seize. Many martial artists would keep their divine weapons back into the Sanjiao Gate when they died. They could not get them at all. Fong Ping had his eyes on those divine weapons. He did not want them to disappear just like that. Li Yi ignored him and fled immediately. Fong Ping's expression turned cold. A golden house fell with a loud crash, covering Li Yi directly. The golden house was a mentality materialization. Li had heard of it before. When it fell, he used his mentality to resist it. He wanted to block it, but how could he block the current Fong Ping? He was immediately covered. Fong Ping laughed loudly. Hua Qidao. 2 humans and 1 demon were extremely cold and fierce. They attacked Fong Ping madly. Li had been caught right under their noses. If this matter was spread out, Li Zhu would also lose face. At this moment, Fong Ping trembled slightly. He smiled. "A true king is here? I wonder which true king has arrived in the dark." True kings do not enter the Outland. It seems like this true king wants to be the martial king's enemy. Release Li Yi. A loud voice shook Fong Ping's eardrums until they bled. The golden house also trembled slightly, showing signs of cracking again. At this moment, a light snort was heard. True kings do not enter the Outland. This is the Iron Law. From today onwards, the rules will remain the same. True kings, true gods, and paragons do not enter the Outland. Forbidden Ocean, Mount Royal Sea, and the restricted area can enter. Those who dare to disobey will be killed. As soon as the words were spoken, less than 100 li away from Fong Ping, a silhouette was suddenly blasted into the space rift. In the next moment, the silhouette appeared a few hundred li away. His head and face were covered in dirt, but he still said coldly, "Release Li Yi, Martial King. If the royal lord's son dies here, is Li Zhu not hiding anymore? He actually made a true king protect his son. How impressive. Martial King, there's no need to test me. I'm on good terms with Li Zhu. As everyone knows, the royal court has no intention of fighting the land of rebirth. Although Martial King is strong, he can't stop the royal court's kings." An emperor-level powerhouse was indeed very strong. However, there were many true gods. 7 or 8 were not enough. 10 were more or less enough to stop an emperor level. This was Zhang Tao's previous strength. Now, 3 to 5 true kings could even fight an emperor level who had just entered emperor level. Emperor level and those below emperor level did not have qualitative changes. They could still be killed by relying on numbers. Of course, at this moment, everyone did not consider the extreme path Heavenly Emperor. At this moment, the extreme path Heavenly Emperor did not exist in this world. I'm not interested in this. True kings don't enter the domain. I'll count to 3 and leave. Otherwise, I'll kill you. 1. Martial King. 3. In the next moment, Zhang Tao broke through the air and arrived. The other party's expression changed. With an angry roar, he broke through the air and left. At the same time, Zhang Tao also left quickly. At this moment, Zhang Tao's voice rang in Fang Ping's ears. Don't kill these people. Now is not the time. You can capture Li Yi and exchange him for some useful resources. Not killing him is more worthwhile than killing him. Leave quickly. The catacombs is not safe now. The Forbidden Sea is too complicated. Powerhouses from all walks of life are hiding in it. I'm too badly injured. I must rush back immediately. Hearing that old Zhang was badly injured, Fang Ping did not know whether it was true. At this moment, he did not want to tangle with the other party anymore. He unleashed his full strength, punching and kicking, sending 2 people and a demon flying. Fang Ping broke through the air and left. As he flew, he laughed. I'll spare your worthless lives today. Don't worry, Li Yi. I have no interest in killing this useless thing. Ask Li Zhu to prepare 100 tons of Fountain of Life, 100 rank 9 divine weapons, 100 mineral veins, and I'll let him go. Bastard! Hua Qidao was furious. What a joke! Although he was angry, knowing that Li Yi's life was not in danger, he relaxed a little. Fang Ping was already flying toward Nanjiang City. Even if he chased after him now, it would not help. He was no match for Fang Ping. Considering this, Hua Qidao shouted, Your Highness, I'll go back and inform the Lord. He will definitely save you. After saying this, Hua Qidao left quickly. Fang Ping laughed loudly. Seeing that Nanjiang City was just around the corner, he roared, killing a few rank 9s today and capturing a Lord's son is nothing. In a few days, I'll also kill a few Emperor ranks for fun. His words spread far and wide. In the void, there seemed to be a cold snort. Reckless fool. If King Wu had not intervened today and ended up killing Grand Peace, Fang Ping would not have had the chance to be arrogant. However, many people still took it seriously. Fang Ping had really come back alive from the Forbidden Sea. Previously, some people thought that he had died in the Forbidden Sea. However, thinking about it, this person was suspected to be the reincarnation of Unquestionable Sword. It would be strange if he had died just like that. They did not think too much about it. Nanjiang City. On top of the city wall, Wang Jinyang and the rest had smiles on their faces. Ironhead laughed loudly. Captured Li Yi. This kind of trash, just kill him with 1 slash. Why did you bring him back? Fang Ping laughed loudly. Trash is also valuable. It's good to exchange it for a few divine weapons. In the Golden House, Li Yi's face was ashen, but he no longer struggled and did useless things. He did not expect that he would not be Fang Ping's match and be captured in 1 move. Initially, he had planned to plot against Fang Ping this time and let Fang Ping be hunted by all parties, who knew that in the end their plan did not even work. Fang Ping had already attracted the attention of all parties. In the end, he was unharmed and ended everything with the death of an emperor. Just as Li Yi was thinking about this, Fang Ping suddenly shouted, Today, we win big. King Wu killed emperor. Raise the prestige of our neo-martial artists. Let's congratulate King Wu. Fang Ping had not said these words for a long time. Today, however, he wanted to say it. King Wu, Zhang Tao, had killed the prestige of neo-martial artists this time. Even Fang Ping felt honored, truly feeling proud and confident. Us human powerhouses, achieving Emperor Wu and killing Emperor Wu in just a few decades. If this was not pride, what was? Even if old Zhang did not have the style or appearance of a powerhouse, he still had to give him face today. Raise the prestige of humanity. Raise the prestige of Sino Nation. There were not many people in Nanjiang City at this moment. Most of them had left the place. However, there were still hundreds of martial artists waiting in the city. At this moment, when they heard Fang Ping's words, their faces flushed red. Regardless of age, they roared one after another. Congratulations to King Wu! Congratulations to King Wu! Their voices shook the heavens. Killing Emperor! How magnificent! In the next moment, someone shouted, Congratulations to the Devil King, capturing and killing the enemy chief's son. Let's congratulate him. Fang Ping killed the Black Dragon Guardian's son, captured Li Zhu's son, forced Ji Yao and Hua Yu to retreat. Almost all the important figures below the true king of the two royal houses had been captured by him in one fell swoop. Let's congratulate him. Sino Nation's inheritance was orderly. There was King Wu above and Devil King below. How could they not congratulate him? Loud cheers sounded again. On the city wall, Wu Chuan had a look of envy and helplessness. When will you come to congratulate me, the guardian of the South? There's no way I'm going to survive as the guardian of the South. Now that Fang Ping had become the minister, Li Chongqing had achieved the 9th refinement of the golden body this time. In addition to Wang Jinyang and the other's sudden outburst, Tianmu could enter the peak at any time. The more Wu Chuan thought about it, the sadder he became. Back then, no, just 2 years ago, when I was in the Magic City catacombs, I met the rank 3 Fang Ping, the rank 6 Li Chongqing, the rank 8 Tianmu in the blink of an eye. It was hard to say who among the four would be the first to reach the apex. Let's not talk about Wu Quishan who didn't come. The more we talked about it, the more upset we felt. Wu Chuan felt very uncomfortable. When Fang Ping landed on top of the city wall, he felt the gaze of a resentful woman sweeping over him. Looking at Wu Chuan, he grimaced. He said loudly, "Senior brother Wu, you couldn't take down the gigantic Willow City Lord back then. I've just avenged you. I've destroyed his descendants' roots and blown up his royal city. I've finally avenged you." Wu Chuan nearly died of anger. Son of a bitch. Once he succeeded, he became arrogant. She was still thinking about it. On top of the city wall, laughter shook the heavens. Although there were not many human powerhouses in the Nanjiang catacombs, at this moment, they were incomparably heroic. We are not strong, but we are not afraid. We started from rags. We were originally barefooted. There was nothing to lose. What was there to be afraid of? Everyone was united. Even if they lost in the future, there was no need to regret it. Neo-martial arts. The most glorious time has arrived. Fang Ping murmured. Then he laughed softly. It's not bad to retire from the most glorious time and leave behind a beautiful memory. You and I are the future. Fang Ping looked around and looked at the few young people in the field. Neo-martial arts, it's time to come to an end. It's time for us young people to stand out. Old Zhang and the rest have been in the limelight so much recently. If we don't step down now, when are we waiting for? Ha ha! Hearty laughter rang out again. Smiles filled everyone's face. P.S. Recommend a book, Superhuman Once You Run Into a Ghost, by a big shot with 10,000 subscriptions. You're tuning in to the Warrior Lore YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories.